Lawyers. Now, Hangin with Hester and Hanny with Jacob Hester and Charles Hannegriff. Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger. Alongside Jacob Hester, here's Charles Hannegriff.
Yo, and welcome into Hangin with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard's Honda without the Hanny, but we do have a Hunt Palmer here with me on a Tuesday afternoon. How are you doing, sir?
Doing very well. I'm excited. You got a big one tonight in the PMAC.
That we do, sir. We've got Josh Ward and Paul O'Neill on the ones and twos as well with us. We have a big show to get to today. We've got Ken Trahan of Crescent City Sports set to join us in 15 minutes. We've got Ryan McGee from ESPN, of course, Marty and McGee at 12:30 to talk about Tennessee McDonald's bags and all the stuff going on.
Supersizing recruiting offers over there.
We've got Jim Nagy, the executive director of the Reese's Senior Bowl. We've got Aaron Torres of Fox Sports Radio. So we've got a big show. We've got a lot to get to. I do want to get to the LSU basketball stuff pretty hot and heavy today because it is such a big matchup between the two top teams right now in the standings in the Southeastern Conference. We will get to that, but we're going to start the show talking about LSU and their search for a defensive coordinator. Now, we all know the name. We know Ryan Nielsen is the name, and Jane Slater tweeted yesterday, LSU working on finalizing a deal to name Saints assistant Ryan Nielsen their new defensive coordinator. Sources tell me Nielsen met with Sean Payton and told him of his intention to take the job earlier today. Great. That news broke kind of whenever we were getting off air and I was driving home. All right, good. LSU got their guy. They got one of their top targets. Great. Let's move on. Well, couple minutes, couple hours, whatever it was goes by. Jane Slater tweets, so this will get interesting. Apparently, there is a dispute on whether the language of Nielsen's contract will support the move to the college ranks. The Saints are currently not signing off on this per sources. So this is a situation with the language in Ryan Nielsen's contract that this would be basically, let's call it a lateral move and not a promotion, because you can move up on the promotion and that's fine. Then they sign off on it. But they are considering this not a promotion. They are considering this at best a lateral move. And so right now, LSU does not have their defense coordinator in place.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. I did some talking to some people that I knew, and that in NFL coaching, very often there's a clause in there that says you can't go laterally or backwards. You can't you can't be our defensive back coach and then go be their defensive back.
Right.
You have to move up. I was unaware of that. Obviously not as plugged in to that level, but Nielsen's got something like that in his deal, and they're saying that, yeah, you're going from defensive line coach to coordinator, but it doesn't apply to college, so you can't do it. It brings up some interesting things on a number of levels. One, while I think there's been a lot made of the fact that the Saints have not drafted a lot of LSU players, the relationship between LSU and the Saints, to my knowledge, has been pretty good. Ed Ogeron's known a lot of people there.
Worked there.
I mean, yeah, he worked there. Yeah. Joe Brady came as part of the staff to give a presentation on the screen game and whatnot, and that's where they found him and tried to hire him. So they were working on things, as far as that goes. They're always here at Pro Day. It just feels like there's been a pretty good relationship, and then for this to spark everybody to kind of throw apparently Sean Payton is on a rampage over there in Metairie about all this.
I guess Devin White's game didn't help things the other night. I mean, gosh, I know he had a big game, but come on, help you guys out.
But if I'm Sean Payton, I mean, I realize that I've got Ryan Nielsen here, and he's done the defensive line's been great since he got there. He's really done a good job in terms of development. The run defense has been phenomenal. Obviously Cam Jordan's as good a two-way defensive end as there is in the league. But if he's saying, yeah, I want to go do this, I want to take my family to Baton Rouge, and this is the best thing for my career and my family, and you want to be the guy that says, no, you can't do that, sit here and coach the defensive line, you're not leaving? I don't think so. That doesn't sound right to me.
And obviously, when you look at Coach O and his relationship with Nielsen, we all know they were together at Southern Cal. Coach O was his defensive line coach. Then he was a GA under Coach O, and then he joined him in Oxford to be the D-line coach at Ole Miss. So very familiar with each other. This is someone that when it first became open, the defense coordinator position, Coach O kind of mentioned, hey, this is my top guy. Now, there was other top guys from other people around the program, and Marcus Freeman being one of them, but this has always been someone that Coach O has really eyed as the future defensive coordinator for LSU. And here is Coach O about the deal not being done.
We're still working on it. He's a primary candidate. Obviously, love Ryan. Ryan's a bright, young, energetic coach. Comes to us highly recommended. But there's still some things to work out to see if he can come to LSU, and those things are not final yet.
Of course, that was on Off the Bench with T-Bob this morning, Coach O, who joins T-Bob every single Tuesday. And this is something that almost seemed it would be easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay,
yeah.
he's with the Saints. Like you just mentioned, they got a great relationship. He's just going to drive right up the road. His family doesn't have to move far. In fact, if they wanted to, they could probably stay wherever they're at right now. We've seen coaches do that, and it's going to be great. You're getting this young, energetic guy who's going to work alongside Coach O. They're going to have the same beliefs in what they want to get done. And it almost seemed like it was going to be too easy. But hold up. As we know, coaching searches now just aren't that easy, and this is a big snag.
And it's just, there's so many wheels spinning in my head when I think about it. It's like, the Saints have such a good organization. They've done such a good job, drafting, player development. They've got some free agents like Mario Davis that people didn't necessarily think were going to be, and then all of a sudden he's an all-pro type guy. And now obviously you're making a change at the top with the quarterback, and then the salary cap situation like we talked about yesterday is not great. But the organization's in pretty good shape, and I just don't feel like the defensive line coach leaving is going to upset the apple cart. It's just, maybe I'm underestimating how important that is, but it feels like if you've got a coach who's done a good job for you and has a chance to make a move up, that you'd be disappointed that you were losing a nice piece to your staff, but you'd be thrilled for him. Something has to be up. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well,
it's part of the coaching profession. Everyone moves all the time.
And this is a case where, hey, maybe he sees Dennis Allen could potentially become a head coach again. He's already been a head coach in the league, and whenever that does become the case, this is who I want to be our defensive coordinator. He's seen the job day in and day out that he's done with that defensive line. Hendrickson is one of the top sack getters in the league. That's a guy that, in my opinion, is overachieved in a good way. Like, that's okay to overachieve. You can go out there and be the player that you want to be and overachieve what we thought you could do, and credit to him. And Cam Jordan's played so well, and Sheldon Rankins, when he's been healthy, I mean, Onyemata's played so well. I mean, really, outside of Marcus Davenport, everyone on that defensive line has either done what they're supposed to do or they've overachieved. And so here is more on Nielsen from Coach O this morning on OTB.
I coached Ryan in college at USC. Outstanding player and outstanding young man. He decided to coach, and then he started volunteer coaching with us at USC with me and Coach Carroll. Then went to Idaho, and then came to us and became my full-time defensive line coach, and then took off. At North Carolina State, he had 4 guys that he recruited that were drafted. I think a couple of them were first-round picks.
Yep.
And has done a tremendous job with the Saints. He comes with us with raised reviews, but again, the deal is not done yet.
So we'll see if the LSU Tigers and New Orleans Saints and Ryan Nielsen and everyone involved can come to an agreement for Nielsen to be the next defense coordinator, because, Hunt, if you're LSU, this does drag on. I don't think it will, I'll be honest with you. But if it does, what do you do? Do you wait because you don't really have a pressing need right now? Like, it's not like you have, kind of keep going back to it, but you don't have the only signing period in February. Like, you have a bulk of your recruits already not only in place but on campus already. So there's not a mad rush to get this done. But, how long do you allow this to go on?
It just feels to me like cooler heads prevail and this thing gets passed through. I don't know what that contract language says exactly. I don't know what the ultimate reason for the Saints contesting it as hard as they are is, but it just feels like if that's what wants to happen, it's going to happen.
Not the only staff news when it comes to LSU. George Munoz is now going to come back on this staff. Remember, he was an analyst. Joe Burrow thought so much of George that he brought him to New York City, the Heisman Trophy ceremony. I'm a huge fan of his. I've been able to sit down and have many, many football conversations with George. I think he's an outstanding football mind. A lot of people, I'll have my hand raised, wanted him as a passing game coordinator. He goes to Baylor in the same role. Doesn't work out there. Dave Aranda actually lets him go after a year. He kind of had to fall on the sword. But I am thrilled to have George Munoz back in purple and gold.
George was just like a full-time coach. He just didn't coach on the field. I mean, the job that he did with us, obviously he came to us from ULL, was a coordinator. Him and James Craig did the protections on Tuesday and Wednesday. He was very instrumental in the winning edge, just game-winning thoughts that we do every Thursday. And worked with me with game management, just an excellent force, and knows the quarterback play, knows the Saints offense, knows Joe Brady's offense. So along with Jake and DJ, we got 3 guys that were here for our championship run that knows that offense.
It's all about speaking the same language, and it just looks to me that the brain trust that they put together for the passing side of this offense is going to speak the same language based on where they've been and what they've done over the last 2 to 3 years. When you add Munoz, you had Ensminger, Mangus, those guys were all in the middle of it 2 years ago. You bring in Peets, who's been with Mangus last year, and Brady. They're all going to speak the same language, and it just to go as far extreme as I can possibly go. If you brought in, if Les was your head coach and you brought in Mike Leach to run all of a sudden you know who's on the same page here, and you can go the other way when Les brought in Cam Cameron and they spoke the same language, and it was just an archaic one that didn't work. We've seen this one has results, and so I think everyone is kind of falling off the same tree here. And I think that there's reason to believe that they're going to do a really good job.
There's a lot to like about where LSU is on the offensive side of the football. Not only the coaches that they've brought in. Now, Jake Peets calling plays. You don't want to oversell your expectations because he hasn't done it before. You like the press conference. You like his background, all of those things. But not only the coaches that you've brought in and brought back, but what you did to finish the season. What you did playing 3 quarterbacks and still finishing 5th in the SEC. What you did not really having a great running game because a lot of the games dictated you had to throw the football because your defense gave up so many yards and points, and you still were able to finish 5th in the SEC. There is freshman All-Americans coming back on this team. There is a real quarterback battle with 3 talented guys, not just 3 guys, but you've got some players with experience. And really, when you look at the way Max finished the season, there's a lot to like there. So, and not to mention, the entire offensive line. Dare Rosenthal makes it official. He's coming back. You have everyone on your offensive line coming back. You have both backs. You have the quarterbacks. You have every receiver outside of Terrace Marshall, who you played with at the end of the season without him and still put up a lot of numbers. Obviously, Eric Gilbert's not going to be here, but you return a bulk of what you did offensively, which there was some good. Wasn't great, but it was good.
It was good. They were productive given the circumstance. Yeah. It was an unprecedented circumstance that they put themselves in. When you talk about losing toward the end of the season, you'd lost Chase at the beginning of the season. McMath got hurt. Terrace Marshall left. Then on the running back, Emery and Ty Davis-Price both got hurt. Gilbert quit. Then your starting quarterback got hurt 3 games in. You went to a third quarterback towards the end. I mean, what they went through is unprecedented in terms of person, and they still scored some points. I thought that the offense did a pretty good job this year.
But with all that being said, where did you struggle? The defense. Yep. Where are you looking for a coordinator? On the defense. Where do you still need to fill your coaching staff? On the defense. So there's still some work to be done. That's the part that if you're an LSU fan, if you follow the team, you want to see them close out strong because they got some recruits in. They've got their offense taken care of. But right now, you have one defensive coach full-time, and that's Corey Raymond.
How do you think that hypothetically, let's just kick that can down the road. Hypothetically, if Nielsen becomes the guy, we know that he's got a background in D-line and O has a background in D-line. So now you've got the coordinator and the head coach who can – what does that do to the makeup of the staff in terms – I mean, does Nielsen coach linebackers? Does he coach – I mean, we've seen guys move position to position, and it happens, but what does it do to the shakeout of the staff?
You could, depending on who they bring back as far as GAs, I mean, you do have a Christian Lockenshore in place who has got a lot of experience. Obviously,
Benny Logan's
on the D-line. Benny Logan has been an analyst for this team. So you have guys that have been in place that can help out. So that position is taken care of. So maybe Nielsen even is a guy who roams around the front 7. Maybe he's D-line linebackers, helps out in both spots. You hire a linebacker coach who I'd love to see like a big-time recruiter in that position as well as someone who can X and O it. But because I think on the defensive side, you need some guys with recruiting experience. You can't just throw it all. I know Corey is the recruiting coordinator, but you still want to have him some help on the defensive side of the football.
For sure.
All right, we're long for a break. We will take it now. When we come back, Ken Trahan of CrescentCitySports.com joins us to talk about Ryan Nielsen and the LSU situation, as well as how has the Saints season finished there. Michael Thomas, some news coming out of New Orleans in that aspect as well. All that when we come back. Hanging with Hester.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny.
We are brought to you by Tiger Air. You can find them online at tiger-air.com. Of course, you can always pick up the phone and give them a call for a free quote today, 225-754-8687. They are available 24/7, right? So if you have an emergency happen, don't worry, Tiger Air will be there. And if you want to save money on that emergency service or that priority service we tell you about, there is nowhere better to sign up for than the Comfort Assurance Protection Plan, because it's going to take care of you. You're going to get discounts on parts and labor. You're going to get lower utility bills each and every month. Your equipment, well, you're going to get increased equipment life there as well. Please take full advantage and have the increased comfort of the Comfort Assurance Protection Plan offered to you. Again, you can check it out online at tiger-air.com, or you can pick up the phone, give them a call, and ask them about that and get that free quote at 225-754-8687.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only, subject to credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Larry Holder joins us as we put a button on the Saints season and the latest on the Ryan Nielsen LSU reports. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard's Honda. Literally, as we sent the show to the break, we spent our entire first segment talking about Ryan Nielsen and, oh, God, I mean, him coming to LSU and the Saints and the contract, the whole deal. Bruce Feldman, source, Saints D-line coach Ryan Nielsen is remaining with the New Orleans Saints. He was a target for LSU's defensive coordinator job. Thank you, Bruce.
And look, and you know Bruce, he's going to bat as long as O is in that chair on that street over there. Feldman's going to bat 1,000 on reporting things at LSU. So
Ryan Nielsen is not coming to LSU. He is going to stay the defensive line coach for the New Orleans Saints. And what did you say Brody Miller tweeted?
This was not Nielsen not wanting to be the coach, which if you take the double negative out means he wanted to, and it's not happening.
All right, let's go to Kenny Trahan, CrescentCitySports.com. Ken, how you doing this afternoon?
Hey, doing about as well as can be expected. How are you guys?
Doing well. Thank you for coming on. And before we get to the Saints and the way that everything finished for them, Ryan Nielsen looks like he's staying the defensive line coach for the Saints. Wanted to become the next defense coordinator for LSU, but Sean Payton wanted to keep him in New Orleans.
Well, there's talk of a promotion. I'm not sure what promotion that would be. Dennis Allen's the defensive coordinator. So, obviously, Payton values him, and Nielsen's done a really good job with this football team for 4 years now. So, clearly, there must have been some sort of miscommunication involved here, I would think, because it was pretty clear that he was LSU's guy for the last couple of weeks, right? So, don't know the particulars in terms of how, why, or when, but it surely is a bit perplexing based upon everything we've seen and heard. Obviously, as mentioned, he's valued by the Saints and valued by Payton, and clearly he's done a good job with their defensive line. As for an enhanced role, who knows? We'll see.
Ken, do you think this is something where Sean Payton knows what kind of defense they had this year? He knows Dennis Allen has been a head coach in the NFL, and it's going to be sometime in the future he gets another opportunity to be a head coach in the NFL, and he could see Ryan Nielsen being his defensive coordinator?
Well, it's possible. I think that you always look in those terms, right, for promotions. Now, Allen has not been linked to any of the vacancies in the NFL right now, so I don't think that that's imminent, at least based on the reporting that's been done on the jobs that are available at this point. But certainly that would be a consideration because you always want to have somebody – look, you know this as well as anybody. You always want to have the next man up mentality about what's my next plan in case I do lose somebody, much like the Saints just lost Terry Fontenot to the Atlanta Falcons. You clearly knew that was a possibility. Jeff Ireland's been mentioned for jobs. You knew that. And Campbell looks like will be the Lions' next head coach. I mean, every step of the way, you have to have a plan for the next man up in terms of players and coaches and front office personnel for that matter. So I certainly think that the Saints probably are thinking that way as well.
Ken Trahan, Crescent City Sports, joining us here, hanging with Hester and Hanny. Ken, let's look back before we look forward because I do want to look forward at this Saints organization moving into the future. But kind of some reports today that Michael Thomas was really, really hurting, and I think he probably took some criticism, probably some from me. And obviously just no productivity in the game on Sunday. Was anybody outside aware of what he was going through this year?
Well, it's obvious he had a very bad ankle injury. I mean, because you're never going to miss that many games. Look, everybody, it's all about what have you done for me lately. And I understand that mentality. And unless you really know, you can't really pontificate in any intelligent fashion. And that's part of the problem with what we do for a living. That's why I try not to jump to conclusions because you just don't know. And, of course, where the Saints are concerned, they're very, very secretive about injuries. They don't want anybody knowing anything about injuries, so they're very, very protective of information in that realm. So nobody really knew, but it was obvious from the games he missed. Because the other thing we've seen is, well, you've seen a lot of criticism of Thomas, not just the fact that he didn't catch a pass in the game Sunday, but also the fact that he missed as many games as he did, and people saying, well, you see that, you get paid, and then you don't show up and play. Well, guess what? He got paid before last season. And last season he had the best season any wide receiver has arguably ever had in the NFL. So that argument doesn't hold water. Then you heard the reports that maybe he's not happy here after the suspension for a game after his altercation with C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Is there any relevance to that? I don't know. I think we're about to find out, right? He is moving on from Drew Brees, who helped him set all these records and was obviously a favorite of his and vice versa. So maybe there's some degree of knowledge there. Who knows? But when Ian Rappaport says something that all things are open and on the table and, and that you never know, maybe this could happen. That's just talking, really. I don't think there's any educated knowledge there. So with regard to Thomas, again, I think people jump to conclusions about his injury and how desire he was to play. All we've seen from the guy since he's been here is he's been an ultra-competitive guy, so you have to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Ken, how do the New Orleans Saints fix their cap issues?
That's a great question. I wrote about it today at CrescentCitySports.com, about $95 million over based upon overthecap.com figures. And they've got 22 guys that are either restricted or unrestricted free agents. And there's some obvious fixes to it with some guys that you don't bring back. And I think you look at that list first. Well, of course, first you look at Drew Brees because that's $13.5 million you save if he's not back, which everybody expects will be the case. So you start there. But then you got some other guys that are clearly investments that are issues that you have to make a determination on as to whether they're worth it or not, because clearly they're in a situation where you got to make some decisions on some guys. Sheldon Rankins would be Exhibit A, a former number 1 pick. Can you really afford to keep him here? Marcus Williams is a very serious consideration. He's been a ball hawk, played better this year, so you got to take that into consideration too. Alex Anzalone, is he really worth investing in? I mean, you have to ask yourself these questions because you can't keep everybody. And then if you really want to make a move or two, you're going to have to clear a lot of space to be able to make a move or two. And then last but not least, what do you do with the quarterback situation? Jameis Winston is a free agent. Are you going to bring him back or not? Do you really feel strongly about him or about Taysom Hill? Or is your next quarterback out there? I don't think that guy's in the draft based on what I'm looking at where the Saints pick. So is it somebody in the league right now? Matt Stafford could get cut, but he's going to cost a fortune. And Deshaun Watson, it would take a king's ransom to get him, and those would be the two obvious guys in the league right now. So a whole bunch of questions. Look, Mickey Loomis has done a great job, he and Kai Harley, of managing this cap for several years now. This will be the biggest challenge they've ever had because the Saints are way over, and they are by far the most in the league in that. And that's because they were all in on this season, 2020 season, and that's why it was deemed Super Bowl or bust. Well, we know they didn't get to the Super Bowl.
And you say they're all in this past year, this year moving forward. When you look at that cap situation, you look at the quarterback situation, do you expect the Saints to take a step back, and maybe a significant one, in the next season?
Well, I mean, I don't know how you follow Drew Brees. I'm looking at recent history, and I've talked about this on my own radio shows, but in recent history, if not all time, find a situation where a superstar succeeded a superstar at quarterback. The only two obvious ones were Steve Young for Joe Montana in San Francisco and Aaron Rodgers for Brett Favre in Green Bay. You'd be hard-pressed to find another scenario where that was truly the case. Now, you've had good, competent to good guys succeeding great ones, but never a great one succeeding a great one. I mean, you're not going to find another Drew Brees out there, are you? I mean, if you're looking at the league right now, how many guys are capable of being what Drew Brees was in his best times and in his prime? I mean, that's a very, very, very short list. A guy like Deshaun Watson certainly is very appealing because he's accurate, he's mobile, he's smart, he's likable, he's young. But again, what would it take to get a guy like that, in particular when you have so many financial issues right now? And with a guy like Stafford, I think Stafford's good. I think that guy's been in a bad organization with no running game, with no defense, and it seems like a different head coach every 2 years, right? So, and in a different situation, I think he's got plenty of game and would thrive. But again, I leave that up to the financial guys. This is probably the biggest challenge they've ever had. The good news is they do have talent on this team, even if they extricate themselves from some of the current deals they have, because they got some money deals right now that they're tied up in that they prefer not to be with certain players, aside from the 22 unrestricted or restricted free agents.
All right, he is Ken Trahan, CrescentCitySports.com. Ken, we always appreciate your time. Thanks for the great insight.
It's our pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right, there he is. Ken Trahan does a fantastic job covering the New Orleans Saints. Really an insider there. Some great stuff from him, as always. I'm curious to see if the Saints would move a player in his prime and package a deal together to get one of the top quarterback talents out there.
Yeah. It would take heaven and earth. I mean, it's just
obviously Stafford's not going to cost what Deshaun Watson would cost. I mean,
as he said, Stafford might get cut. So
I find that hard I think there's some value there. I do think Detroit could get something for him. I think that when you look at what he still has left, I can't imagine, unless it's just one of those deals where you're just getting late round picks because of the money.
Even if he did get cut, with the Saints cap situation they are, to add a quarterback at that stage in his career with the money that he's going to command, I just don't think makes sense.
Because of Drew's number, even with him retiring in $13.5 million coming off the books, you still have to go almost cheap on quarterback with in-house options. And I know you'd have to re-sign Winston, but because he didn't play this year, you would probably get a pretty good price on him. You're already paying Taysom Hill because of all the other things that he does. You almost have to have a quarterback on the cheap unless you did trade a big contract for another contract. That's really
it's going to be some serious gymnastics in the Loomis office.
All right, we'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll talk about the dumpster fire taking place in Knoxville and really go around the SEC with Ryan McGee of ESPN here on Hangin' with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard Honda.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny.
All right, we are brought to you by Patient Plus Urgent Care. You can find them at any one of their 6 locations across the Baton Rouge area. I'm telling you, get in and get better. This is perfect for me and my family because things happen when you don't expect them to happen, right? They are open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. 7 days a week. You can go to patientplusuc.com and complete a quick check-in, and they'll hold your spot in line right there. All you have to do on the homepage, online check-in, to make sure they are ready and waiting on you whenever you do arrive. They offer a numerous amount of services, x-rays, EKG. Don't forget we told you about school and sports physicals as well. That's part of something they do. So if you're starting that winter sport, you can go check out Patient Plus and get that physical. Of course, strep throat, stitches and staples, which we've had to take full advantage of with the Hester household having 4 boys. Again, they have 6 locations across the area. This is a Baton Rouge business. This is a local business that started local and cares about the people of Baton Rouge. Again, check them out online, patientplusuc.com. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care. Get in and get better.
Saints coverage, Chiefs, Cowboys, Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday Night Football. From the opening kickoff to the playoffs and the Super Bowl, the NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Choose your fighter. Dax. With antioxidant vitamin C.
Given the choice, why wouldn't you choose the one with antioxidant vitamin C? Choose Vizzy Hard Seltzer.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Happy New Year from Corvell Toyota in Opelousas. You can get into a Corolla for $239 a month with only $2,000 down, or choose from our pre-owned selection. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Join us for a Tuesday edition of Jimmy Ott's Game Time, live from Doe's Eat Place. Big game for LSU basketball as the Tigers welcome Alabama into town. We break it all down starting at 6 p.m. Come out and see us or tune in to 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richards Honda. Excited to welcome our next guest onto the show, Ryan McGee of ESPN. Of course, Marty and McGee. You can catch that every single weekend here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Ryan, what's going on, my man?
Oh, it's just woke up yesterday morning, thought I was going to have a day off, and my phone had blown up with everyone I've ever been related to, wanting to ask me what was going on at UT.
I mean, even with us hearing about the things going on in Knoxville for the last couple of weeks and hearing the whispers and the rumors, I think it shocked a lot of us how it went down. And even when you look at Philip Fulmer deciding to retire because he wants the AD to hire the next head coach, he wants him to be there for the next 10 years. And then this story, and it's not hillbilly headlines, but it should be, paying cash through McDonald's sacks and not having French fries and burger, but actually cold, hard cash in some of these sacks. I mean, it just keeps getting crazier.
Yeah. And it's just a complete and total. And listen, and the truth of all this will come out, and I get all that, but it's just a clown show, and it's frustrating. Listen, in full disclosure, you guys know I'm a Tennessee alum. I'm married to a Knoxville girl. I know all that, but it's just the SEC is better when the brand names. Mm-hmm. And listen, every school in the conference is a brand name, but we all can agree there are certain brand names that if you're of a certain age, they just mean something. And so, college football is better when Notre Dame's good and when USC is good. And the SEC is better when the Tennessee game against Alabama and against LSU and against Georgia, whoever matters. And so for them to have been completely lost in the woods for more than a decade now, and Philip Fulmer, and my feelings on him are well documented, for everyone to act like he was going to be the savior that was going to ride in and save everything and clean everything up. And it's like, y'all remember how it went with him? He won a championship 22 years ago. I get it. But, details aren't really his thing, especially when it comes to the rules. And so Jeremy Pruitt, who had never been a head coach, was relying on a lot of people to stick to the rules, and he was not used to keeping track of all these things from the throne that is the head football coach's office. And as a result, it's just an embarrassing hot mess.
So, Ryan, when you look at it, and I caught up with Eric Ainge this morning, of course, former Tennessee quarterback, and the last time Tennessee won 10 games was when Eric Ainge was the quarterback in 2007, actually. So since then, you've only had two SEC schools that have not won 10 games, Tennessee and Vanderbilt. And that's just crazy because, like you just mentioned, me growing up and watching Tennessee football and watching Peyton and T. Martin and Clausen and even Eric Ainge when I was playing football, you knew that to be a brand. And they've been so far from that brand for the last 13 years. How do they get back to being Tennessee? What can they do? Where does it start for you to create that foundation to get back to who we know them to be?
Well, cleaning house top to bottom was always going to be the answer. And that's why the return of Philip Fulmer was never going to be the answer. And as long as he was in the building, his primary goal in life was going to be what it always was, which was to make sure that Philip Fulmer looks as good as possible. It happened in the press conference yesterday. And so it has to be a clean slate. There is no Tennessee coaching tree. If you're certain programs, you can go get the guy that learned under the guy. There's none of those guys. None of them. T. Martin is your best chance, and I don't know that T's ready to be a head football coach yet. And so it's I don't know, honestly, Hester, if Tennessee can ever get back to being a double-digit win team on a regular basis. I think they might be settling into life as Auburn, which is you're very talented and you win some big games. And, every 3 or 4 or 5, 6 years, you have a special team with a bunch of 5-year guys and you make a run to Atlanta. But as far as, do you think you're going to be Alabama when you grow up? Right now, you just need to worry about, again, let's be Auburn first. And then you can worry about if maybe one day you can be as good as you were 25 years ago.
Why do you say that that they may not be able to get back?
Kids don't have any idea who Peyton Manning is.
Yeah.
What are you recruiting with? You guys know the deal. When you walk in the building at LSU, what's the first thing you see when you walk in the door? It's all those guys in the league, and it's all those superstars. And LSU is going to be able to recruit off of Joe Burrow for the next decade.
Mm-hmm.
Who's Tennessee recruiting off of? The Peyton Manning room is a beautiful room, and it overlooks the practice field. But I love Peyton. He's my dude. And I love Peyton's Places on ESPN Plus. I love the commercials with the country music deal.
Brad Paisley.
But at the end of the day, Jason Witten and Peyton Manning might as well be Paul Hornung because kids didn't see them play. They just didn't. And so, when you're talking about how great you were in the 90s, that doesn't mean anything to a kid who was born in 2003. And so it's just that's why I think the hole is much, much deeper than it was. They were in contact with the lead pack 15 years ago, and now they're not. And so that's why I think the facilities are great, the money's great, the history's great, but at the end of the day, it's what can you do to get the 17 and 18-year-olds to sign on, and that's winning football games, and they just haven't done that for a really, really long time.
Ryan McGee joining us here, hanging with Hester and Hanny. I'll give you the option here, Ryan. Can you either give me a name or two that makes a lot of sense that you think would be a really good hire, or if you want to go a different direction, one or two boxes that the next guy has to check, no matter who it is?
Well, I'm a Jamie Chadwell guy at Coastal Carolina. And Jamie Chadwell grew up in the shadow of Neyland Stadium. He named his first son Heath after Heath Schuler.
Yeah.
His first – we talked about this with him on the sideline live, during the Myrtle Beach Bowl, which was held there at Coastal Carolina when Marty and I were the pit reporters. Listen to me. I'm getting into – I'm already getting into – I've been in Daytona.
I love
500 conference calls all day, right? But Jamie Chadwell grew up in the shadow of the stadium, grew up going to games there, obviously played quarterback East Tennessee State, but he runs that funky offense. And you guys know, if you're still trying to catch up on recruiting and still trying to catch up with the roster,
right,
the quickest way to start winning games is to give everybody something they don't see everywhere else. And I'm not saying it should be Paul Johnson, but I'm saying that Jamie Chadwell is a pretty good answer. So it's and he knows every single high school coach in the state of Tennessee. And right now they can't lock down their own borders when it comes to recruiting.
Right.
And so to me, he's the guy. But I also know he's really, really happy at Coastal. So it's going to take a lot.
That's a great point you make, Ryan, because when you look at the top 10 players in the state of Tennessee this year in this cycle, of the 10, Tennessee only got one, and that was number 10. So 9 other schools came into your state and took the top 9 players out of the state of Tennessee. That's something I never thought I would see. And I want to ask you real quick about Kevin Steele. He is the interim coach now. You got him at a bargain price for less than $500,000. But I think if you tried to do a deal like Arkansas did with John L. Smith and kept him for the interim coach for a full year, just me personally, and nothing against Kevin Steele, I think that's a disaster because your school just stays there. They don't move forward. They just tread water, and there's nothing to build off of. Do you think that's something that's even a possibility?
It's a possibility, and the reason it's a possibility is he's a Tennessee guy. He coached under Johnny Majors, and he's the closest, I guess, you've got to some sort of coaching tree that you can get in there. But again, I think that the answer is to clean house. And Kevin Steele, who's never been great at timing anywhere, the timing on this was pretty bad. So I think that he might just not be in the building very long.
I know someone even mentioned Gus Malzahn, and I stopped him right there, and I said, wait a minute. You realize that Kevin Steele is at Tennessee. They just hired him like 10 minutes ago. I don't know if the Gus bus is stopping in Knoxville.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, honestly, I'd love to see it. I think that, he obviously understands how to do it. I don't think he got a particularly great deal at Auburn. And so I would love to see it. Just selfishly, honestly, as a writer, I just would like to keep Gus in the SEC for a while. But yeah, I don't think that I think he'd check his seat first to make sure Kevin Steele didn't put a bunch of thumbtacks in his chair, in his office.
Right, man. I always appreciate it. I know that Daytona's coming up in about 3 weeks?
Yeah, no, that's what happened was I woke up. All
Yeah.
of a sudden I was like, oh, dang, the Daytona 500 on Valentine's Day. So I got to get ready for that deal.
Hey, that's a perfect Valentine's date. I mean, go to the infield there, celebrate it a little bit, have some fun, watch a race. I can't think of a better Valentine's Day.
Hey, nothing says romance like taking your wife to the Checkers right there on International Speedway Boulevard.
Oh, I love it. Ryan, man, you're one of my favorite guys. You know that. I appreciate you hopping on with us. I know you're busy today.
Anytime, boys. Appreciate it.
All right, there he is, Ryan McGee of ESPN. I love going on with him and Marty. They have a lot of fun, man. Does a fantastic job for ESPN.
Well, I mean, I feel a little bit better being as far removed from Tennessee as I am and coming out and saying yesterday I thought it was the most dysfunctional program in the country, and then he's an alum and came on and said it's a clown show. So that would lend itself to saying that we're probably both on more right than we are wrong.
What a hot mess. And I've heard that Gus Malzahn would be very interested in that job, and I'll be honest with you, when you look at where they're at, it's not the worst thing. He's beaten Nick Saban. We know they play that game every year. They've played it for 100 years.
Yeah, I'm well aware.
Okay. He's done okay in the SEC, way better than Tennessee has done since 2013 when he took over the Auburn Tigers. Offensive coach seems like the spot to go. Now, I said this on SEC this morning as well. If I hired Gus, you're calling plays. You're designing the plays. You're not giving it up to an offensive coordinator. This is your show. You're going to develop the quarterback. You took a defensive back from Georgia and made him a national championship contender in Nick Marshall. Okay, Bo Nix was better when you had control. I don't care how stressful it is. You're not giving up play calling duties. Like, that would be number one. And I'm sure Gus would love nothing more than to go to Knoxville, announce the head coach and say, Kevin, we'll see you on the flip side. You're out, pal. Get out. Get out of my office. You're out of here. So, man, I know we're looking for a defensive coordinator here in Baton Rouge, but you start to look around the SEC, there's some stuff going on all across the place like there is very, very often. All right, we'll take a break. Still more to come here. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard Honda.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny.
All right, we're brought to you by Richard Honda every single day, the title sponsor of our show here. You can find them online at richardhonda.com. We tell you, they've added something new to the homepage. 415 new vehicles in stock. They have a counter. Remember, it was 423 yesterday, so this thing is ticking down because they've got some great prices on some great models over there at Richard's Honda. And you can check out everything they have available on the site, richardhonda.com. Of course, you can buy from home, so if you don't want to get out to the dealership right now, maybe you're too busy, maybe you got something going on, remember, they can deliver that car straight to your doorstep. But we encourage you to go see them at I-12 and Millerville because they have over 700 when you add in the used vehicles, those pre-owned vehicles they have over at Richard's Honda. So take full advantage of it. Go find something you love. We tell you every single day, they've got something for your lifestyle. Cars, hybrids, midsize and full-size SUVs, vans, trucks. Doesn't matter what you're looking for, they've got you covered, and you'll drive away with something you love from Richard's Honda, home of the
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Have you been issued a ticket for texting, speeding, or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake? We all have. You're not a bad person. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 225-343-1111 or connect with us online at ocbrown.com.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans. That's why we're highlighting the fans that do the most. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week. Check it out at 1045ESPN.com, the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week.
Coming up on Wednesday's Off the Bench, the inevitable Booger McFarland victory lap is at hand. Plus, a recap of Tigers versus the Tide in the PMAC. And we bring you the latest on the Ryan Nielsen drama. Off the Bench, 104.5 ESPN.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in, Hanging with Hester and Hanny without the Hanny, here with Hunt Palmer on a Tuesday afternoon, continuing to talk about LSU and Ryan Nielsen. He is, as we reported, Bruce Feldman reported, he is going back to the Saints, but he is going back with a new title. Apparently he's going to be assistant head coach. He's getting a new deal, new 3-year deal. And so Campbell looks like he'll be out, right? So you take over his position that he just left there. And Ross Dellinger just reported LSU and Ryan Nielsen had verbally struck a deal, sources told Sports Illustrated, citing language in his contract. Sean Payton declined to release him. This isn't the first time, he quotes, and LSU and Nielsen attorneys objected. In the end, as Mike Triplett reported, Nielsen does get that new deal we just mentioned.
Yeah, so kind of reading the tea leaves, it appears that Nielsen interviewed for the job, was offered the job, accepted LSU's job. Then the Saints said, absolutely not. We need you here. Your contract says you can't leave. And that probably was not music to Ryan Nielsen's ears. Yeah. He wanted to take the job. So how do we smooth that over? Right. We give you a new deal. We give you some more money. Just come on back and work. And that's how that went.
Dan Campbell held the title of assistant head coach. He's now the Lions
head coach. Doesn't mean anything.
No, it doesn't.
Assistant coach here's the money.
It's a way to give you more money.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Really, because, I guess if something happened and your coach, I couldn't be there, COVID, whatever. Okay, you get to coach that one game.
If there was a bounty scandal.
I tried to stay away from it. I tried to stay away from it, but I'm not very happy right now with that. So.
That's interesting. People, there's a lot of people that bleed purple and gold and black and gold, and mixed emotions on that one.
Mixed emotions are, without a doubt. And, it's funny.
Mine aren't mixed, but.
Yeah, right. Purple and gold. It's funny, Devin White has a big game. Leonard Fournette has a big game against the Saints, and everybody's so mad about it. And, for me, I'm always purple and gold first. That's me. Like, when I hashtag Forever LSU, I mean that stuff. And so it's just funny, the dynamics between the two. And it just seems like so many LSU players play for the Bucs and play for the Falcons, and there's always a conflict of interest there. But this one hurts a little bit. This is somebody that, you know, you thought would be here, wanted to be here. It was going to be an easy transition because he knew all the personalities and a lot of people already in the building working with him and other stops. And it just seemed like I said in the first block, it seemed easy. And in this football season, with the way things have gone, I would take easy right now.
Yeah, for sure. But as I've said, and I stick by this is a bad look. It looks bad, but it doesn't matter. The worst thing that can happen is hiring a bad defensive coordinator. It's not a good one not coming. There are plenty of people who can run a defense. Plenty of qualified candidates. You just have to find one. It's like the Jared Nardo recruiting analogy. It's not the really good player not coming to you. It's signing a bad one. Yeah. That's the issue.
All right. Obviously, we'll get to some of your comments inside the Bayou Ford chat. We've got Aaron Torres, Fox Sports Radio, still set to join us. LSU basketball has a pretty big game inside the BMAC tonight. We'll talk about that and more when we come back. Hang with Hester.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
From Cordell Toyota in Opelousas. You can get into a new Camry for $335 a month with only $2,000 down, or choose from our pre-owned selection. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Cordell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
$14,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford Expedition XLT. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty, and with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, and welcome into hour number 2 of Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richards Honda. A lot of football news in hour number 1. Probably been listening, but in case you haven't, a little recap here. Ryan Nielsen is staying with the New Orleans Saints, got a promotion, going to be assistant head coach. New 3-year deal, so the search for LSU's next defensive coordinator does continue. We talked with Ryan McGee, and the dumpster fire that is Tennessee football was really great stuff from Ryan. If you missed that, you can catch it on demand. Now,
I believe he called it a clown show.
He did. Like in 10 seconds, he called it a clown show. And that's someone that graduated from there, married someone who graduated from there as well. So, very interesting to see what's going to happen in Knoxville. But we turn our attentions to LSU hoops. Big matchup. Alabama coming to the PMAC tonight. A late tip. The top 2 teams in the standings in the Southeastern Conference. I keep saying in the standings because I think we all believe Tennessee is right there with these
Tennessee
teams, obviously. But, hey, look at the standings. It's Alabama and then LSU. Looking forward to this one. This could be a 98-95 game. I don't think any of us would be surprised. Alabama lives and dies by the three-point basket. LSU has shown this year they can struggle to defend the three-point attempts. Let's just call it like it is. And this is going to be a big test for LSU. The matchup is not the best for them.
No, it's not a great matchup. I think Saturday is much better, but we'll get to that when we need to. I've been a little bit dismissive. If you listen to my podcast, a lot of it's going to be regurgitated here, but I've been a little bit dismissive of some of LSU's opponents in SEC play. I didn't think that Ole Miss was very good, and LSU went there and won that. I dismissed some of Arkansas's achievements in the non-conference because I thought the teams they played were very bad. I thought they were a decent team, but I've been a little bit dismissive of some of these teams. Not the case with Alabama. This team's really good.
Yeah.
They beat Arkansas by 31. They beat Kentucky by 20. They scored 94 and beat Auburn. They beat Florida by 15. They went to Tennessee and won by 8. They beat Ole Miss by 18. They are clocking people because they do it on offensive side of the floor and the defensive side of the floor. Their offense is fascinating. And I did a deep dive on this. And I've seen press conferences, seen analysts kind of break it down. But Nate Oates lives by the efficiency metrics. It's the same type of philosophy that the Rockets built their roster around for that 4 or 5 year run when they were really, really good before they had to blow it up. But essentially, the theory is that we're going to only shoot from places on the floor where we can do so very efficiently. Mm-hmm. And there's only 3 places. And they only shoot from 3 places. They shoot threes, they shoot layups and dunks, they shoot free throws. If you want some stats to back that up, I dug that in up too. Against Arkansas, don't worry about doing the math here. I'll give you the numbers when they're pertinent. But against Arkansas, they scored 28 points in the paint, 45 points from the three-point line, and 13 free throws. Yep. That's 86. They scored 90 in the game. 86 of 90 from those 3 places. Against Kentucky, 32 in the paint, 42 from 3, 9 from free throws. That's 83 of 85. And if you watch them play, it is fascinating. I equated on the podcast to like the triple option in football. There are only 3 options here. We're either going to give the dive, we're going to quarterback around the end, or we'll pitch it. That's it. And that's what Alabama's going to do. They will not shoot a baseline runner. They will not pull up from 15 feet in transition. That ain't it. And they've bought into it, and they believe it. It is, and it's interesting to watch.
When you look at how fast Nate Oates has gotten that team to buy into who he is and what he believes in, because this is what he did at Buffalo, I think it's a remarkable job that he's done so far in a short period of time in Tuscaloosa.
No, it is for sure. And you got to do that with some inherited guys, which he did. John Petty is in his 76th year.
I was about to
Herb
say,
Jones is in his 76th year. Alex Reese has been there for a long time. But he's also done a good job of bringing in some of his guys. Jaden Shackelford is a sophomore on this team who's an excellent perimeter driver. Javon Quinterly was a 5-star McDonald's All-American who signed at Villanova, spent a year there, and is now back in Tuscaloosa. They're very, very good. So, for LSU, the challenge becomes, how do we slow them down on the offensive end? LSU's three-point defense has actually been pretty good this year. They're 15th in the country in opponent three-point percentage defense. And LSU is 11th in the country in steals. But those two things are not the most important to me tonight. Now, it ties in, but you have to stop dribble penetration. Without dribble penetration, Alabama's offense can't work because if you can't get to the rim, you can't shoot at the rim or draw fouls. And if you can't drive and create help to kick for threes, and you don't have to help because you haven't gotten beat off the dribble, you can't get open threes. And all of a sudden, Alabama will be forced to jump the threes off the dribble if they can't get open. And that is not LSU's strength, is guarding off the dribble on the perimeter. Right. So we'll see how Will Wade decides to do it, because if you can slow the penetration of Shackelford and Quinterly down, where he's kicking it to Petty and he's kicking it to Herb Jones, who will shoot threes, he's kicking it to Alex Reese, who will shoot threes, they start doing that, it gets ugly in a hurry.
The numbers behind this one are fascinating to me. When you look at the spread, it was LSU -1.5. Now it has since changed to Alabama -1. The ESPN matchup predictor, which, as we know, can be all over the place, gives LSU a 64.8% chance to win this basketball game. These two teams, I do think, are pretty evenly matched. I think Alabama deserves all the credit that they're getting. They do it a different way than LSU does. We mentioned that yesterday, having 4 starters that average double figures, right? And the highest being 13.6 points per game. When you look at LSU, obviously Cam Thomas is 22 points per game. So they do it different ways there, but they do have different guys that can take over offensively. And I almost hope that it's the game that we think it's going to be. Like, if it's a 68-63 game, I'll be honest with you, I'll be very disappointed. Like, I want this to be 95-90, guys showing out, guys hitting so many shots in a row that I don't know who's on the call, but I'm sure it's Tom Hart. Tom Hart loses his mind, and I'm looking forward to that.
So it lends itself far more to the shootout, because when you look at the teams that Alabama's played, Kentucky is really good on defense. They're awful on offense. And Alabama scored 85 on them and won 85-65. Now, Auburn, we know how Bruce Pearl wants to play. That was a 94-90 game. Get it up and down, shoot the threes, move it and shake it. Tennessee, they're an oppressive defensive team. It's not as skilled on offense as Alabama or LSU, but is so good on defense and has enough athleticism to be good on offense. That one was closer to, it was 71-63. But I don't see LSU holding Alabama down. I mean, Alabama's only allowed one conference team, Auburn, to score over 71. So their defense has been excellent too. They're long and rangy. They do get a little bit of a hit when because Brummer, who's one of their posts who played at Yale, and LSU actually played him in the first round of the tournament 2 years ago. He's out for a couple of weeks, won't be able to play. So they're not quite as imposing physically as they generally are, but they're still long and rangy on the perimeter.
So when you look at some of Alabama's early losses, and of course they haven't lost in the SEC, they lost early to an 11-4 Western Kentucky team, 73-71. They lost to a Clemson team who's ended up being a pretty good basketball team. Outside of this weekend when they got blown out, that's a good basketball team that was ranked in the top 15 before they got blown out this weekend. They lost 64-56 there. Now, they lost to a very, very average Stanford team, 82-64. But they, somewhere along the way, they figured things out. And I know it's hard because you probably didn't pay a lot of attention to it before the conference play started. But what was going wrong, in your opinion, there that they were able to get fixed, and they've rolled off some impressive victories, including, at Tennessee, Florida, which LSU lost to, and at Auburn and at Kentucky?
Well, against Western Kentucky, they shot 26% from three. They were 7 of 26. Now, you had those nights, and LSU's done that to a lot of
Stanford, they were
people.
24%.
Yeah, so they're a 34% three-point shooting team. If you hold them and don't give them those open looks, and you don't allow them to drive where they want to shoot around the rim, it's just it's not as efficient. But
Against Clemson,
no one's been able to do that.
Clemson, they were 13% from beyond the arc.
So it's live and die,
feast or famine. Yeah, it's a feast or famine type mentality, and they've made more than they've missed. That's why they sit there atop the SEC. There's no question about that. But as we've all seen, when you only have so many certain ways that you can score the basketball, when you don't have that one guy, you can say, give him the ball at the top of the key, allow him to do whatever he wants to do, because at the end of the day, he's going to take a shot and he's going to make it, and we've got that dude, right? When you have the lineup that they have, where you have multiple guys who are in double figures, but the highest being 13, that's not who they are. So if they do have an off night, it's going to be a completely different basketball team, right? If LSU is not shooting, well from beyond the arc, if they're 20%, right? They count on the three-point basket, but it's not their only trick. They can go to Watford inside. They can get drives from Javante and from Cam, and they can finish at the basket, right? Alabama, if they don't shoot the three well, they are a completely different basketball team. Now, that makes them a team that can beat almost anybody they play, and it also makes them a team that can lose to an 8-5 Stanford.
Yeah, and they've been the much better team since they started conference play. Yeah. I mean, they've lit up just about everybody. And, it's going to be a high-scoring game tonight. I'm hopeful that Cam can get it rolling with the jump shot. He's still getting to the free throw line. He's still scoring around the rim. And I heard Cody on the morning show today saying that he needs to just keep driving, get to the paint. And I love that, getting guys in foul trouble, and that's all good. He's 4 for his last 24 from three.
Yeah.
Some of those have got to start going home.
He's really, really good, though, with his body, with his shoulders, getting that contact, getting to the free throw line.
Hey, if Petty's on him or Shackelford's on him and he can get 2 fouls on them quick, I'm all for that. All for that, because this Alabama offense won't run quite as smoothly without Quinterly and Shackelford handling the ball the way they're the quick guards out there that really put pressure on you. And if those two guys can't play because of foul trouble, which we're being hypothetical here, it really changes the way that Alabama plays.
All right, we've still got more to come when it comes to LSU hoops. Don't worry, we still got first class, second class, no class as well. We've got SEC baseball scheduled to talk about.
Yep.
We've got Aaron Torres of Fox Sports Radio set to join us to talk college hoops and football. A lot still to get here on Hangin' with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richards Honda.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny. Off the Bench, Hanging with Hester and Hanny, after further review and more, are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat driven by Bayou Ford.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Auctioner Health.
Here's a great way to start the new year, saving lots of money, because Richards Honda has 0% financing. 0% on some of your favorite Honda models. And with Richards Honda transparent pricing, there are no add-ons or hidden fees. When we give you a price, that's the price you pay. Transparent pricing and 0% financing? Must be why smart customers love Richards Honda. Interstate 12 at Millerville Road and richardshonda.com.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only, subject to credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Larry Holder joins us as we put a button on the Saints season and the latest on the Ryan Nielsen LSU reports. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back again. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richards Honda. No Hanny today, and this is news that Hanny would thoroughly enjoy. We have a baseball schedule. LSU on Tuesday, today, released its 56-game 2021 baseball schedule, which includes 10 3-game SEC series. The 7th-ranked Tigers will play 28 games against teams ranked in the collegiate baseball preseason top 50. No surprise there.
No, it's not. And so the big story was, are they going to do it traditionally, the 4 non-conference weekends and then 10 conference weekends? Are they going to have midweek games? And the answer is yes. They're doing everything traditionally as usual, quote unquote. So LSU will play 10 conference weekends. They will miss 3 teams: Missouri, Georgia, and Florida. So the dominant 1-2 punch of Tommy Mace and Jack Leftwich will not be on the schedule for the Tigers this year, but Vanderbilt will come to LSU, and they may have literally the first and second picks in the draft on Friday and Saturday nights this year. Kumar Rocker and Jack Leiter are as good a 1-2 punch as maybe we've ever seen at the college level, and they'll be coming to Baton Rouge, so that'll be exciting. Start off conference play with Mississippi State here in the box. So I was hoping for that crazy schedule where we played 14 SEC weekends, a 4-game series, and kind of do things differently a little bit. But traditional, after the year we've gone through, is not so bad. We'll see how many people we can get into the box, but the schedule will go on.
You've got some non-conference games, weekend home series versus UC Riverside, Oral Roberts, UT San Antonio, midweek matchups against all of Louisiana's Division I programs. I know a lot of people enjoy that. LSU will also meet Notre Dame and Louisiana Tech during the opening weekend of competition. Yeah,
and so that's usual, doing a little round robin on the first weekend. Yeah. Obviously, Louisiana Tech makes sense geographically, and Notre Dame's a team that LSU's played a few times now. So nothing that's shocking to the eye and totally different like we thought may happen, but it's getting close, and I think LSU's going to have, certainly a great pitching staff. I need to learn a lot more about these hitters and need to see a lot more proven guys out there, but I'm excited for baseball season nonetheless.
Also face Air Force to begin Military Appreciation Weekend as well.
Another game that they put on the schedule quite often. It's just a very typical schedule for the Pulmonary era here in Baton Rouge.
When you look at the SEC and D1 baseball's top 25 rankings, Florida is the #1 team in the country, followed by Vanderbilt, who's 4, Ole Miss, who's 6, Mississippi State at 7, Arkansas at 8. This is going to continue for a while. LSU at 12. You've got South Carolina at 18, Tennessee at 19, Auburn at 23. So, I mean, absolutely littered with SEC teams like it is most years, but this really seems like you have the potential to not only have solid SEC teams, Hunt, but you've got teams that are close to the top, and there's not going to be this huge drop-off from the top to, let's say, the 5th team in the SEC.
Yeah, I think when you have a situation where LSU is able to get Devin Fontenot back, who would have been a high draft pick, and potentially A.J. Labus would have been a draft pick and could have signed, and you're able to get some of these guys back who wouldn't have been on your roster, that way more greatly benefits LSU than guys going back to just a lesser program, a mid-major program. So the good are going to be better than usual. And so I think LSU can, fall out of bed and put a purple and gold hat on, and the polls are going to rank them in the top 15 because it's a purple and gold hat and it's Alec Box, and they've probably had some good recruiting class, so there we'll go. To me, LSU, and I won't pretend to know who the best 15 teams in the country are, but it would surprise me if LSU was one of them right now, based on what they've got coming back in the position player rooms. And so, the rotation looks really good on paper. Jaden Hill's never done this before. Landon Marceau's never dominated before. A.J. Labus has dealt with injuries and has had his ups and downs, but it looks good on paper. And I hope that LSU's one of the top 15s in the country, but right now I think it's just probably a little bit of a reputation.
I mean, ye of little faith.
What am I on here for? To just pump sunshine and say we're the best team ever?
Yeah, that's why you and Cody both come on. What are you talking about?
That's just how I feel. No. I love
They definitely have questions when it comes to the lineup. Now, I do think that their rotation, again, like you just said, if healthy, that can shut a lot of really good lineups down. I mean, you've got a frontline starter that's as good as anyone in the country. When you look at the MLB draft rankings, I mean, Jaden Hill sits there at 4 or 5, depending on who you look at. That's somebody you can throw out there every single Friday night, which I would assume you would prefer to start him on Friday nights.
Sure, I don't really care. I think I think there's a decent chance that Landon Marceau is the best pitcher on this staff this year.
So you're going Landon Marceau this year over the potential of Jaden Hill, just because. And I think it's fair that you don't know what he's how long he can
some of the
last.
stuff that we saw and heard after the fall. I like Marceau. That's not to say I'm not trying to say I think Jaden Hill is going to come out and be a bust. That's not what I'm trying to say. That I think Landon Marceau is going to take a step. And then you just have to hope that what happened to Zach Hess his second and third year doesn't happen to Jaden Hill as he tries to make the transformation from bullpen star to front end starter. Zach Hess was a nice SEC pitcher. He was not a frontline ace.
I think Jaden Hill, has shown that he can be stretched out a little bit better than Zach Hess. I mean, Zach Hess in that role, coming in one inning, giving you everything he had, max effort. I'm going to empty the tank in this one inning. It does seem like Jaden Hill set up for better success to stretch out and be a starter.
I mean, he was throwing 2 and 3 innings there at the end of before the world ended in March. But that's just different than holding that velocity. And if he can, I don't need him to throw 97 in the 7th inning.
Yeah.
But if he can sit there at 94 in the 7th inning and still keep the bite on his slider, that's what Lang was able to do very well. Nola, obviously, a little bit easier delivery than those guys, so you would expect that. But those are the guys we're comparing you to, so that's what you got to be.
So if Florida is 1 and Vanderbilt is 2 as far as rotations in the SEC, where do you place LSU?
Right in there behind them. I don't know everybody's rotation off the top of my head. I know Doug Nikhazy at Ole Miss has had a really good start to his career and is a proven commodity in the league for sure. Texas A&M is going to move their closer from last year to try to be the Friday night starter. That's very similar to what Jaden Hill's doing, so we'll see how that goes. But look, as far as skins on the wall, Marceau started a bunch of SEC games. Labus has pitched well in some SEC games, and certainly those two guys were throwing the ball pretty well last year. And Hill has dominated good teams for short stretches. They're right there behind Florida and Vanderbilt, but I can't certainly put somebody up there in front of them.
What's the fourth option? I know that might be difficult right now, but let's say something did happen. Say that they had to miss a start. What's the fourth option in your opinion?
I don't know that Paul Maneri would even answer that question with a ton of confidence right now. I mean, you brought in a couple of nice freshmen in this class, like Ty Floyd, who I think has really got a chance to be good. And Blake Money is another big-time prospect they brought in this class, and I don't know if he's quite ready based on what I saw in the fall. His secondary pitches I didn't think were quite up to that level. And you know, Paul, I mean, he's no stranger to saying, hey, we're going to throw Matthew Beck out there for 3 innings, and then we'll figure it out after that. So it's just He's got options there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's no slam dunk to me right there. I mean, he likes some of the lefties, Hasty, Kaminer, those guys.
If we're gonna get on people being at Alabama playing basketball for a while, Matthew Beck, I believe he came in with Todd Walker's class.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah,
he and Armando Rios were roommates.
Oh, glad to have him, though. I tell you that he's been a good pitcher for the Tigers, and it's going to be a unique baseball year with everyone getting that extra year. A lot of faces that will be familiar across the Southeastern Conference. All right, we will take a break. When we come back, first class, second class, no class here on Hangin with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard Tonda.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny.
Brought to you by Garcia Roofing every single day, the no gimmick roofing company here in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, North Shore, and Lafayette. You can find them online at GarciaDidMyRoof.com. We've been telling you over the last couple of weeks, they win awards over at Garcia Roofing. Once again on the LSU 100 fastest growing Tiger businesses for the second year in a row, coming in at number 19, best of Ascension when it comes to roofing companies. No surprise to me. It shouldn't be a surprise to you. And I would encourage you to take full advantage of their free roof inspections they offer over at Garcia Roofing. I gave you the website, GarciaDidMyRoof.com. You can also pick up the phone, call them at 225-756-3100 to get that free roof inspection. Get them out to see exactly what you need, because don't forget, they can do more than just roof replacement. Of course, they can handle that. They can handle your commercial roofing needs as well, but they also specialize in roof cleaning and roof repair. So you might have something that's small. They can come do that small project. Nothing too big, nothing too small for them to handle over at Garcia Roofing. Again, GarciaDidMyRoof.com, the number 225-756-3100.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject to credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
Meet football legend Tom Flores, a.k.a. the Iceman, a.k.a. the first Latino quarterback and head coach ever, a.k.a. why isn't he in the hall yet? Well, Coors Light is going to do something about it.
I'll drink to that.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Happy New Year from Cordell Toyota in Opelousas. You can get into a Corolla for $239 a month with only $2,000 down, or choose from our pre-owned selection. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Cordell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Join us for a Tuesday edition of Jimmy Ott's Game Time, live from Doe's Eat Place. Big game for LSU basketball as the Tigers welcome Alabama into town. We break it all down starting at 6 p.m. Come out and see us or tune in to 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in, Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard Honda, here with Hunt Palmer on a Tuesday afternoon. Let's go ahead and do a little first class, second class, no class.
First class.
I want a seat in first class where I was booked and ticketed over a month ago.
Second class.
That no man should be subjected to the indignity of being labeled or treated like a second-class citizen.
And no class.
My life had become like school on Sunday. No class.
I'll tell you what then. Why don't you call me sometime when you have no class?
All right, first class, second class, no class, brought to you by Relief Telemed. It is a better way to see your doctor. Get the doctor office experience without the office. I tell you, every single time we do this, they help me out in so many ways. And my walk-ons up in Shreveport, they've done it for so many others, including LSU Alexandria, the Santa Ana School District. So as you can tell, nothing too big, nothing's going to be too small. They've helped so many people out during this very difficult time to make sure that they can get back to work and not have missed revenue, which is so important. You can find more information at relieftelemed.com. All right, Hunt, first class, what you got?
So in golf, usually we focus on the guys who are winning tournaments, winning majors, the famous people. But there's a whole other world that goes on out there year to year and even week to week. And it's with guys trying to keep their status as PGA Tour players so that they can get into the fields every week and make a living. I'm not talking about the guys with these massive paydays for, their club sponsorships and all their endorsements. It's guys that are trying to make a very successful living, but one that doesn't look quite as glamorous as some of the other guys. And Chris Kirk has actually done a really good job on the PGA Tour. He's a multi-time winner on the PGA Tour. But in 2019, he left the sport because of alcohol addiction and depression and took some time away. And during that time, he would have lost his status on the PGA Tour because he didn't play enough, win enough money, and wouldn't stay around. So the PGA Tour gave him a major medical exemption for the time that he would have been on the tour, said, hey, you can come back and try to earn your card. Well, he went out last week in Sony, and he had to tie for third place or better to keep his full-time PGA Tour status.
Yeah.
He shot 65 the first day, 65 the second day, 65 the third day, and he had to birdie 18 on Sunday to get to that spot of second place to keep his tour card, and he did it. Had to finish top 3 in a PGA Tour event, went to Hawaii, and Chris Kirk made it happen. That's a fantastic story of some redemption and a story. He didn't win the golf tournament. Kevin Na won the golf tournament. He wasn't the most famous guy out there, but he was grinding for stuff more important than anybody else out there. He made it happen, so first class to Chris Kirk.
It's a good one. My first class goes to Bill's Mafia. They raised $290,000 in 24 hours for Lamar Jackson's favorite charity. If you remember, Lamar Jackson went out with a concussion in the game over the weekend, and Bill's Mafia is one of the most passionate fan bases in all of sports, not just professional sports, and they are known for breaking tables, having fun, in supporting their team, but also they have shown that they can support others. Great thing that Bills Mafia did, raising $290,000 for Lamar Jackson, which he is going to donate, if I'm not mistaken, to the Boys and Girls Club. That's fantastic. Good on you. In 24 hours, huh?
That's impressive stuff by the Bills Mafia, endearing themselves to the entire NFL world over the last year. This one's second class. I don't know if good with a chance to be great it quite qualifies, but second class certainly does. Just a step down from first class. Kevin Kisner was behind a microphone last week. He's a PGA Tour player and a guy who's won multiple times on the tour as well, but he didn't hit the ball very far. He's a world-class putter, maybe the best in the world, and a great guy, but he didn't hit it very far. So they were at a press conference before the tournament last week, and a guy asked him, I mean, you feel like you can win anywhere on tour, right? And he said, no, probably not. I can't win at Bethpage Black. I can't win at Torrey Pines. And they go, well, why do you show up? He goes, because they give you a lot of money for 20th. And I like it. And that's the way he's winning some of those tournaments he goes to. He may finish 20th, but there's $80,000 in it. Right. So he's going to go ahead and do it. It's not the highest top class of professional golfers. Kevin Kitchener's a heck of a player in second class for me this week.
God,
and a good line.
Torrey Pines is fantastic. So you've played Torrey, haven't you?
I have not.
You've played Pebble. You've played Pebble.
I've played Pebble.
Yeah. Torrey Pines. Oof. We used to have our team golf outing there with the Chargers. And it was like weeks after the Open one time. Oh, my God. Oh, my. I mean, golfers that are really, really good golfers. I mean, scratch golfers that are just like hacking at every single ball in the rough and just wanting to break their clubs, throw them into the Pacific Ocean. That's a rough place to play. Beautiful place to play, though.
Yep.
All right, my second class goes to something you mentioned during one of the breaks, and I actually looked it up. Delonte West, the former NBA player, now 37 years old. He was living on the streets. In fact, Mark Cuban a year ago picked him up from a gas station where he was just sitting there homeless last September. And this is someone that has been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. He has absolutely struggled since he stopped playing basketball. And he actually is now working at the drug rehab center that he attended, the one that Mark Cuban did bring him to. So he is getting his life back on track. That is a very, very difficult situation that he was in, dealing with the disorder that he does have, living on the street after making millions upon millions of dollars. So credit to Mark Cuban for helping him out, and credit to Delonte West for not only, staying through the rehab process, but now he is working at the rehab center to help people who were in his situation not that long ago. So second class to Delonte West, even though it is a first class.
For sure. No class this week. Jared Porter.
Yeah, my no class is to Jared Porter as well.
I mean, look at the situation that he found himself in. That is one of the best general manager jobs in all of baseball with the Mets, because now you've got unlimited funds.
You just got an owner that was going to, and has already shown you he wants to win.
And then going to spend all the money in a non-salary cap league. However, when he was with the Cubs back in 2016, he was harassing
60 messages.
Unanswered messages.
Yeah, 60.
In a row, including nude photographs of his clothing.
17 pictures.
To a female reporter who had no interest in ever answering him or being around him, and he just wouldn't stop. And the Mets, to their credit, found out about this. It came to light as this female reporter who received all these messages wanted to be anonymous. She's no longer working in baseball, and she's actually from a different country. She was very uncomfortable with it initially because in her culture, she just never seen anything like this and didn't understand if that was supposed to be normal or not. Clearly not.
Yeah.
But she didn't want to bring attention to herself at all, so she just stayed in the woods. And then this comes to light. She decided to go public with it, and good for her for having the confidence to come out forward. And the Mets just said, "You're out, bud. We can find somebody else to come spend this money." So
yeah, there's no room for anyone to have any position, much less that position, when you're acting like this. It's despicable. There's no place for it anywhere. You deserve to be fired. I hope you don't get another job. I truly believe that and mean that with all of my heart. And if it's too cruel, sorry. That's my feeling, and it's not going to change. Steve Cohen, the new owner for the Mets, in my initial press conference, I spoke about the importance of integrity, and I meant it. There should be a zero-tolerance place for this type of behavior. So
absolutely.
Now the Mets will be looking for a new GM, and good.
And they'll have people lining up at the door for that job.
No. I mean, really though.
You got $16 billion
and an owner who's like giddy to spend his money on a baseball project. I mean, they've already gone out and got one of the best young shortstops in all of baseball. And of course, Paul, they're in the NL East.
You can come play in the Central. No one's even trying. Just everyone's trying to lose.
Do you want to have a second no class for your Chicago Cubs?
They're not. They're not worth my time.
The
Ricketts family not worth my time.
I almost put Sean Payton for being Tom Petty in my no class.
Amazing that the Ricketts could go from the toast of the town in 15 and 16 to public enemy number 1 5 years later. Amazing.
That's the way it goes in some of these big sports towns. And let me tell you, Chicago might be the biggest sports town that I've ever been a part of. We got off the team plane. We go get in an Uber after we go to the team hotel. We go to a steakhouse in Chicago, and there was not a single Charger that someone on the street did not recognize. And we're a team that they don't even know about. Like, we're so far away from Chicago. Yeah. We play there once every 8 years, and they are so passionate. Like, once you go into the steakhouse, they know, like, every single professional athlete that comes in there. I'm talking like just random people sitting at a table.
Yeah.
They care about their sports. There ain't no doubt about that. So, yeah, you can be the toast of the town in 15, 16, whenever that is, but I understand being public enemy number 1 because of how much passion those fans have. And now you've got your beat writers talking more about the White Sox.
That really irritates me. If you start treating your team like a business, people that are fans that don't see it as a business are not going to agree.
That's exactly right. All right, it's going to do it for first class, second class, no class. Thanks to Relief Telemed for bringing you that segment. You can find them online at relieftelemed.com. Like I mentioned, a better way to see your doctor. All right, we will take a break here on Hanging with Hester and Hanny. We still got Aaron Torres of Fox Sports Radio set to join us at 2 o'clock. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, 11:30 a.m. The Tiger, and, of course, CST.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny.
All right, we are brought to you by Gotros Outdoor Power. You can find them online at gotrosoutdoorpower.com. Of course, you can find them locally. 2 locations here in the Baton Rouge area. Baton Rouge is at Airline at Industrialplex. Gonzales, Airline at 74. Go find you a piece of Skag Power equipment because we can promise you there's something for everybody at both locations and on gotrosoutdoorpower.com. Once you go to the site, new equipment, scroll down to the Skag Power equipment. You'll see the 0% for 60 months now available on all models. And then once you get into the inventory, the Turf Tiger, the Tiger Cat, the Patriot, the Freedom Z, the Cheetah, all those commercial lawnmowers. Don't forget about the residential lawnmower, the Liberty Z. They've got something for everybody. And if you're not in the Baton Rouge area, if you're listening to us up in the Port City, watching us on CST, remember, gotrosoutdoorpower.com. Once you find that piece of Skag Power equipment, they will deliver it to your doorstep free of charge throughout the state of Louisiana, from Shreveport to New Orleans, from Monroe to Lake Charles, and everywhere in between. Again, gotrosoutdoorpower.com. That's Gotros. We make it easy.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Coming up on Wednesdays Off the Bench, the inevitable Booger McFarland victory lap is at hand. Plus, a recap of Tigers versus the Tide in the PMAC. And we bring you the latest on the Ryan Nielsen drama. Off the Bench, 104.5 ESPN.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, back here on Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richards Honda. We got a couple of different things inside the Bayou Ford chat.
Okay.
No class to the Hesters for declining to sell their 21-passenger van to the Freeman family.
Ooh, that's a rough look for you. Just trying to get some people around town. Call a defense.
I was willing to pick up anyone from the airport. It's only a 12-passenger, but we had plenty of room. I was willing to do it. I was ready to do it. No class to Hunt for failing to pump Sunshine.
I apologize for that. There's only I can make up for it. We can pump some Sunshine in the next hour.
Wait till Hunt finds out his fiance is a Brewers fan.
That's never gonna happen.
It could be worse.
Yeah, Cardinals.
That's what I'm saying.
Worst.
Does she even care about baseball?
Not in the least. She likes Wrigley Field though, so that's a good start in Chicago.
Let's see here. Have you made fun of Hunt for picking Arkansas over Alabama? Yes, we did that.
Yes, that happened pretty quickly. Good news. I'm picking Alabama over LSU tonight.
You're picking Alabama over LSU?
I am.
At home?
I am. I don't think that matters.
It doesn't this year, but still, at least you don't have to travel with all
That's right.
The different things you have to do with COVID and traveling and all that. But okay, so you're really going away from the Sunshine pumping, I see.
I'm just saying what I think.
It's fine. It's fine. No, that's good. Ask Hunt what happened to Chris Bryant. I asked you that on the way out.
He's gotten hurt a lot. Power numbers are way down. Just hurt his wrist, his ankle. It just hadn't been good.
The Braves need a third baseman. You willing to give him up?
Give me someone that throws 100, and you can have him.
Paul, do we have that person? AJ Minter? He's a reliever.
No, I need a starter that throws 100.
Okay, sorry. You said 100. You didn't say all that starting
That's
stuff.
correct. I've amended my statement.
ESPN.com did put out their college football way too early 2021 All-America team. There was only one LSU Tiger on this list. Do you like to take a guess at who it was?
I'm going to just go out there and say Derek Stingley.
It was not.
Oh, was it Eli Ricks?
It was not.
Oh, was it Cade York?
Cade York.
All right, how about that?
One player on the way too early All-America list. A little bit surprised that you didn't have either one of the corners. They had Mullen from Indiana, and they had Josh Joe from Alabama as the corners on their first-team All-America list. But Cade York was on the list, so you did have one player there.
Good. Cade's a stud.
When you start to look at 2021 and the beginning of the football season, there's some intriguing matchups. Georgia and Clemson play each other.
Mm-hmm.
Miami and Alabama. Now, Miami, Derek King, will he be back for that game? That's a very key component to this when they face. it is for the game to be competitive.
It's not going to be competitive. How many times does Alabama have to play this season opening game for you to think it's going to be competitive?
As many as it takes.
Well, it's not competitive. I'll just go ahead and get that out in front of you.
Could be.
It could not be.
It could be.
There's no evidence to support that it's going to be competitive.
So, anyways, Oregon and Ohio State play each other as well. That game's going to be in Columbus. There's some of these games that were scheduled to be played this year, obviously, that we did not get. No word on when Texas and LSU will be rescheduled, but we all know that LSU does open up at the Rose Bowl against UCLA. Really, they're
Mr. Blair, if you're listening, I would like to be in the press box for that game.
Really, they're only one of their non-conference schedule that, to me, could be any kind of a challenge for LSU football. I don't know if you've seen their non-conference schedule.
I have.
Okay, so they have UCLA, McNeese, Central Michigan, and ULM.
McNeese, the Ogeron Bowl.
Oh, I didn't even put. Yeah, of course that is.
We talked about it this morning on the morning show.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Coach O's mentioned, he's going to have the opportunity to go watch his son play here in the spring and then turn right around and going to play them in the fall. That's very intriguing to game plan for your son. I think you would know his strengths and weaknesses.
I would think. Maybe a little bit more of a juicy storyline if his son played for, Arkansas or Florida.
Still, yeah.
But
still there.
When you're playing in the FCS, just don't hurt him.
What about the rest of Alabama's non-conference? Southern Miss, do anything for you?
No.
New Mexico State?
No.
What about the Mercer Bears?
No.
Okay, doesn't do anything for you. Check out Florida's non-conference schedule. Florida Atlantic, South Florida, Samford, and Florida State. Did I do anything for you?
Well, I think that the whole Dan Mullen thing now is very interesting based on they were just such a hot name there right before they played LSU. You've had a Heisman front-runner quarterback, and you had a chance to win the East and play playoff national championship. Okay, this is what we hired Mullen to do. He's created the energy. I was asking the guys when I was interviewing for the pregame show, hey, does it kind of feel like, when Spurrier and Meyer got it going, offensive guy, Heisman candidate? Yeah, it does feel like that. Well, then you lose to LSU and you get beat by Alabama.
He puts his foot in his mouth four times.
Yeah, and he keeps talking, and then he gets a show cause, and it's like, okay, wait a second. We were the toast of college football 5 minutes ago.
Then he tries to put his name in like every NFL opportunity.
So that's interesting just on its face.
Yeah.
Now, it's a different kind of interesting than for our East opponent than Alabama's East opponent, which has been called on this show a clown show and a dumpster fire.
Right.
But still interesting nonetheless.
Another non-conference game, Auburn at Penn State, the second week of the season.
Whiteout.
And if that game is going to be what we know Beaver Stadium to look like, sign me up for that. I'll be all over that.
The Harsin debut.
Well, it's not the debut. They debut with Akron.
Okay, we're going to get a game in first.
Well, yeah, you got to get a warm-up game going.
Don't tell Henry about that. We're talking about Frank Beamer trying to get a warm-up game. The Weasel. That's how he got the name.
The Weasel?
You don't know this about your co-host?
No, I don't.
Oh, my goodness. Virginia Tech wiggled around the contract with the LSU game, and they managed to play a game before the season opener. I use air quotes, and he didn't like that. That's why he called him the Weasel for the rest of his career.
Okay, is that the one that they played up at Virginia Tech? Okay, because I was about to say the one we played, the return trip, didn't go well for the Hokies.
No, and y'all had already played a game for that one too.
They did too. Chill out. We both played a game.
I know. I wasn't insinuating anything else.
We opened up with Mississippi State that year?
Yes, you did.
Oh, okay.
I was there.
2007.
Great road trip. Went to that game on a Thursday morning, slept in Starkville, drove to Athens for Georgia-Oklahoma State.
I've heard you tell that story. I don't know why you did that, but
it was fun.
Okay.
Why not?
Your favorite team in the SEC, Texas A&M, opens up with Kent State. They also play Colorado, New Mexico, and Prairie View A&M. Prairie View A&M.
That's a lot of wins. It's disappointing.
I'm seeing a trend here.
A lot of cream puffs in the non-conference.
Hey, Ole Miss. You got Louisville in Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta.
That's a good
Austin
try.
P, Tulane, and Liberty. I'm actually signing me up for Liberty.
Oh.
A little Hugh Freeze action if he's still there.
Oh. I love that.
Which it seems like he will be. He's not going to be let into the SEC. How about that?
Doesn't feel that way.
November 6th,
I had no idea they had put that one on the schedule.
Deep into the season.
I love it.
I'm actually here for that one.
You know who's going to embrace that is Kiffin. Like most people would like deflect it and like, oh well, it's not important to our team. We focus on what we can control. We go out there and game plan. What I think Lane will lean into it a little bit.
So after you've heard me, spout out all the openers, all the non-conference games, we'll throw Tennessee's because it's such a dumpster fire. Bowling Green, Pitt, and South Alabama. Although who knows what you're going to get from Tennessee. There's a lot of pretty easy pass non-conference wise. Even looking at Kentucky's ULM, Chattanooga, New Mexico State, Louisville.
Well, the question is, what kind of UCLA team is LSU getting into?
Let's call.
They played better at the end of last year.
They did, and Chip Kelly had them going in the right direction. I'm not acting like LSU's got murderer's row either. They've got a pretty easy non-conference slate as well compared to what they've had in the past.
Chip Kelly was the novelty act at Oregon, and it was phenomenal. But they were the only ones that could do it. Now everyone does what they were doing. So it just doesn't.
Oh, there's no question about it. Everyone caught up to the up-tempo, the RPOs, everything that they were doing, even some of their run scheme, and it has just not been effective. They've caught up to the system.
But when you turned on the highlights, if they were playing a really good team, sometimes they got handled. But if they were playing an average team or a non-conference team, they'd have 60 at halftime. It was amazing.
That team speed that they had obviously helped out the system, but once you figured out how to defend it, like when teams started going away from Tyson Jackson type defensive ends to Kiki Mingo type defensive ends that could run with said speed, that changed the game.
That was when after that game when we played them, Brian Kelly famously said that's a different kind of athlete over there. Yeah, it is, Coach.
Yeah, no question about that. That defensive end runs just as fast as that ball carrier and can set the edge, to say the least. All right, when we come back, Aaron Torres, Fox Sports Radio, joins us to talk college hoops and, of course, college football. He can do both as good as anyone. Excited to catch up with my man, Aaron Torres, when we come back here on Hangin' with Hester and Hanny.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors. It's the law.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
Sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans. That's why we're highlighting the fans that do the most. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week. Check it out at 1045ESPN.com, the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week.
Happy New Year from Cordell Toyota in Opelousas. You can get into a new Camry for $335 a month with only $2,000 down, or choose from our pre-owned selection. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Cordell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Callahan Injury Lawyers.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. At this hour, the Nets welcomed back Kyrie Irving to practice today. He's expected to return tomorrow night against the Cavaliers, which would be the first time he, Kevin Durant, and James Harden are on the floor together as teammates. Irving's missed the last 7 games for personal reasons. The Mets fired GM Jared Porter following a report by ESPN's Mina Kimes and Jeff Passan that he sent dozens of graphic, uninvited text messages and images to a female reporter when he was working for the Cubs in 2016. Porter, did acknowledge to ESPN that he texted the woman when he was working for the Cubs, and the impact of this scandal goes well beyond baseball, says Passan.
The entire sports world has been a place that has been inhospitable to women. And while we've made progress, progress isn't enough. Like, there need to be moonshots. There need to be leaps. There need to be changes in the sports culture that allow women to thrive like they deserve to.
Jeff Passan on Greeny with Mike Greenberg. NFL, ESPN's Adam Schefter reports Saints receiver Michael Thomas will likely have surgeries on his ankle this offseason.
With no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, and an app that lets you bank anytime, anywhere, choosing Capital One is like the easiest decision in the history of decisions. That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in. Hour number 3 of Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard's Honda here on a Tuesday afternoon. Excited to catch up with our guy, Aaron Torres, Fox Sports Radio, joins us now. Aaron, how you doing this afternoon?
Oh, just another big Alabama-LSU game in Baton Rouge. No big deal. The usual.
Hey, but this one's on the hardwood and not on the gridiron, but still, hey, the top 2 teams in the standings so far in the SEC, there is going to be some points scored, Aaron. At least I hope there is. I hope it lives up to the billing. 2 top teams offensively in college basketball, some of the top teams in college basketball. Alabama lives and dies by the 3. LSU's got dynamic scores. I can't wait for this one inside the PMAC tonight.
No, and that's the thing, right, Jake, is we all love college hoops and watch, varying degrees of college hoops. I know everybody listening is a Tigers fan, but just because there's a big game doesn't always mean that it's going to be an actual game that's fun to watch. But this one should be. I mean, LSU, I looked it up. They have been struggling defensively, 78 points that they're allowing their last 4 games. On the flip side, Alabama is averaging 88 points their last 4 games. So, yeah, when people are asking me who I think is going to win, I said I think the safer bet is to just, if you want to gamble on this one, just take the over and hope that we get the 85-80, 91-87 score that we're predicting. But, yeah, man, it's going to be really fun. And I will say this. I think everyone's kind of caught on to how good Alabama is at this point. Now, they're dealing with some injuries, which we can get into in a minute. But I don't think people are quite aware yet of what LSU is capable of with Cam Thomas, Trendon Watford, Darius Days, guys like that. So really excited for this one, and I think it'll be a great showcase, frankly, for both programs who are probably better than the average fan realizes.
I actually agree with you, Aaron. I think that's a great point that you make, and they kind of do it different ways, and we've been talking about it throughout the week. Alabama has 4 guys that average double figures, and the top guy being Shackelford there at 13.6, and so they do it a different way. They don't have maybe one dynamic scorer. They kind of do it by a group effort, and LSU's got 4 guys that can go off, but Cam Thomas has kind of been the star, averaging 22 points a game.
No, 100%, 100%. And what I'll be most curious about is actually not Cam Thomas, because we know he's going to do what he does, but Trendon Watford and Darius Days. I mean, the one thing with Alabama, as you said, Jacob, they live by the 3 and they die by the 3, but they're also, even their big guys can shoot the deep ball. And what's interesting about them is LSU catches them at kind of an opportune time. Jordan Bruner, who was their grad transfer big man, is out for this game. And Herb Jones, who's another kind of wing/big, is a guy that's really been banged up the last 2 or 3 games, hurt his hand against Kentucky and is playing through it. So I only bring it up because, look, I think America needs to learn a little bit more about Cam Thomas. I mean, I hate to say it, and I hope this doesn't sound insulting, but, you know, if he was doing what he's doing right now at Kentucky, oh, my goodness, he would be the story of college basketball. But I think this game is ultimately going to be won and lost by, can LSU control the boards? What does Trendon Watford and Darius Days do down low? Because I'm really not sure, honestly, that Alabama has an answer for him. I'm not.
Nate Oates, since coming down from Buffalo, obviously in year 2, is really put together a solid team. What can you tell us about him?
Oh, I think he's awesome. I mean, you know, the thing with him is, one, he is one of these new age guys that isn't afraid to kind of rebuild a roster on the fly. And first of all, I think first and foremost, if you're going to come to the SEC, you got to be willing to just, you know, recruit and upgrade talent and all that stuff. And, you know, the days of building a college basketball program, and I think with the transfer portal in football, we're seeing it more and more. But in basketball specifically, the idea of, you know, taking a group of guys and we're going to through the lumps, and in 2 or 3 years we're going to be like, we're going to figure it out. That's just not how college basketball is anymore. And so you look at them, starting point guard is a transfer from Villanova. As I mentioned, they had a big guy who is a transfer from Yale, who is actually hurt a little bit right now. They have a couple guys that have been in the program for a few years. They had a reclassification, a kid that's supposed to be a high school senior who's playing well for them named Josh Primo. So Nate Oates is one, you know, willing to just, you know, just he's just a great recruiter, basically, for lack of a better term. And then I think, too, and it's something I think it's been kind of really played up the last few weeks, they are kind of the quote-unquote analytics-based team. You know, it's really interesting. I kind of just saw a clip of something Nate Oates said on the SEC Network during their broadcast on Saturday, where he said basically if you look at total possessions in a game in college basketball, you know, they've basically stayed the same across the sport the last 3, 4, 5 years. His team, every single year, it goes higher and higher. They shoot a lot of threes. They don't take a lot of, you know, mid-range jumpers. We all know the basketball analytics say that they're not great. They're just not smart shots to take. But the difference is this year they're playing actual defense, and I don't know what the numbers say about that. But really, since they've gotten to SEC play, they've been playing really good defense to complement the scoring punch. And, you know, you're talking about a team that's averaged, that has won their SEC games by an average of about 15 points per game. That includes Kentucky and Arkansas last week. So, no, they're really talented, and I think he's a really sharp, smart coach.
And we've heard really all basketball season, you know, LSU needs a rim protector. They need that guy at the rim. Kavil Bigby Williams was a guy that, when they had their success, made the run to the Sweet 16, he was that guy for LSU. Sharif O'Neal has not yet really been able to find his way back onto the court, only played 5 games this year. But I'll ask you this. You watch a lot of basketball. In 2021, do you absolutely need that rim protector to be a quality championship-type team?
Do you need a rim protector? No, I mean, I think it helps, but no, I think it's a great point, Jacob. I mean, you know, we're seeing more and more, and it's funny, right? Because we're talking about Gonzaga. You know, Jacob, you know Gonzaga better than anybody outside of Spokane. No rim protection on that team. Baylor basically plays 4 guards at all times, but they do have a little bit more rim protection. Villanova, who's going to return to the court for the first time in almost a month this evening, they don't really have any rim protection. So it's a great point. I hadn't really thought about it from that perspective. And I think the other thing, too, and we all kind of know this, but obviously so many more three-pointers being attempted than ever before. Long shots lead to long rebounds. That makes your guards more active kind of in the rebounding and all that stuff. And so it's really interesting. I think, one, it's a great question by you, Jacob, and I think, two, you look at the team that's maybe struggling more than anyone in college basketball this year relative to expectations. They got a deep and loaded front court, but they can't make a wide-open three to save their lives. And if I didn't say it was Kentucky, I'm obviously talking about Kentucky, but, you know, they have 3, 4, 5 kind of old-school big guys that are kind of good around the basket. And so to answer your question, I think it's a great question. I don't know that you need it anymore. And in some cases, if you have too many of those guys who can't space the floor, it's actually a hindrance to your team.
Give me how you break down the top of the SEC in terms of the hierarchy of your class system with Alabama, with Tennessee, maybe LSU, whoever else you want to throw in there.
Yeah, you know, I think Tennessee fans are still kind of sitting there saying, you know, looking at the preseason stuff and saying we're the best team in this league. And you know, I'm not going to fight them on that if they believe it. But Alabama has the win at Thompson-Boling Arena. And so right now they're the class of the league to me. I think Tennessee is really good. You know, they're a team that I do think at times struggles to score, but they're great defensively. And LSU is just a really fascinating team. I mean, like I said, I just think they've been mostly off the radar. I mean, they had that big CBS game against Florida, but really other than that, really just kind of lying in the weeds. And so I do think those are the top 3 teams in some order. And then what really stands out to me is I don't know if there's any great teams beyond that, and it's really one of those, you know, anybody can beat anybody else on any given night. I know that Missouri has had its moments, but they also lost at Mississippi State. Kentucky won at Mississippi State. Auburn is kind of coming on now that the kid Sharif Cooper's eligible, but, you know, are they really a team that's going to finish in the top half of the SEC? I'm not sure. And you go on and on. Florida, I thought, you know, when I watched them against LSU, looked really good, and they're 1-3 since. So I think those top 3, Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, or Tennessee and LSU, in some order, feel like a pretty consistent top 3. And then I think it's just going to come down to how many other teams can win enough games to put themselves in the tournament mix. I still think the SEC will get at least 4 or 5. But right now I think it's hard to kind of figure out who is going to be number 4, who is going to be number 5, or anything after that.
Catching up with Aaron Torres, Fox Sports Radio here on Hanging with Hester and Hanny. All right, one of the best things about you can talk hoops. Of course, you can talk college football as well. Go ahead and talk about the dumpster fire that is Tennessee football.
It's just, I mean, what do you want me to say? I mean, you know, I'll say that, you know, my buddy Trey Wallace in Knoxville, he kind of broke the initial story about 4 or 5 weeks ago at the end of the regular season. It's just bad. I mean, you know, I don't know. I saw your guys' little tweet meme thing with Ronald McDonald leading into this segment. You know, I don't know if that's true. It makes for a heck of a salacious headline from Dan Patrick this morning. But, you know, what I would say is, you know, listen, Jacob, you and I are the same age. Hunt, I don't know about you, but, like, Tennessee was awesome when we were kids. And we're going on an extended, you know, 15-year deal where they just haven't been good. And I don't see the scenario where they're good for another at least 4, 5, 6 years, because how do you hire a head coach, 1, without an AD, and 2, with a looming NCAA investigation hanging over you? You're not going to be able to get a quality coach to come to your campus. And then on the flip side, some of the coaches that you want, I don't know how you can hire a Hugh Freeze in the middle of an NCAA investigation based on his past. So I just think that, you know, it's been a 10, 12, 15-year downturn, and I think we're headed for another 5 to 7 years at best, because I don't know how you hire an elite coach. I don't know how it's not even elite, but even decent. I don't know how that coach recruits and how that coach develops players when, you know, we're potentially looking at you know, bowl band, scholarship productions or whatever. And even that's probably not coming for another 2 or 3 years. Nobody knows that. You know, LSU fans, everybody knows what's going on with these NCAA investigations in basketball that are taking forever. Well, if this Tennessee football thing drags out another 2 or 3 years, we're just at the starting point, and it's not as though Tennessee is starting from a great place. Oh, my goodness, man. It's just, I actually feel bad. Like I said, when I was a kid, you know, you had to turn on that Tennessee game every Saturday, and now it's just, you know, bottom of the SEC for the very foreseeable future.
How about this? I'll leave you with this one, Aaron. in the last 13 years, there's only been 2 SEC teams that have not won 10 games in a season: Vanderbilt and Tennessee.
No,
That's not the company you want to be with.
Dude, that's crazy because, I know Kentucky had the 10-win season a few years ago, and I guess Arkansas in the Petrino era was really good. I hadn't thought of it. That's incredible. Yeah, maybe the Butch Jones era wasn't so bad after all. Who could guess it?
All right, Aaron, we always appreciate it, man. I know we're all looking forward to the LSU matchup against Alabama, and yeah, Gonzaga still number 1, so we've still got a lot to talk about here in the upcoming future.
No one in Baton Rouge wants to talk Gonzaga except for you, Jacob. But
that's correct.
It's your show.
Hey, been following them since 1999, and unless they're playing the LSU Tigers, I'm going to root hard for them.
Well, listen, 99 was a great year. UConn beat them to go to the Final Four. I'll never forget that.
They did. Matt Santangelo, number 13, was a Gonzaga stud. Yeah, how about that name?
Yeah, not that day. Not against Rip Hamilton, baby. All right.
All right, get him off the air. We don't want to hear about UConn in 99 anymore. Aaron, I always appreciate it.
Later, guys.
Hey, I can't say, when I started watching Gonzaga Hunt, they had uniforms that looked like they went and got them from Sports World.
Mm-hmm. Sports World, that's a Shreveport drop.
Our Red Stick Sports here.
Mm-hmm.
They looked like they went and got them right before the game. Like they had to get them pressed on real quick, and they made it to the Elite Eight that year.
The slippers still fits. Gus
is really good at that, by the way. All right, we'll take a break. Going to break down some of what Aaron talked about and much more still here on Hangin with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard Sonda.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny.
GMFS Mortgage, GMFSmortgage.com. Committed to changing lives. So committed that they created the Go Local initiative. This is supporting our local businesses, the one that makes our communities feel like we're at home. GMFS is giving away $10,000 in Visa gift cards to those who visit participating Go Local businesses and enter their drawings. So learn more about the official rules at gmfsmortgage.com/Go Local. You know how we spell go around here, G-E-A-U-X, G-E-A-U-X, local, gmfsmortgage.com. If 2021 is the year that you're moving into a new home, that you're refinancing your current home, that you're adding on with a construction loan to your current home, start your financial journey at gmfsmortgage.com. Let them do for you what they did for me and they've done for thousands of others. When they talk about changing lives, they're talking about changing your monthly budget for the better. So start that financial journey today at gmfsmortgage.com.
Saints coverage, Chiefs, Cowboys, Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday Night Football. From the opening kickoff to the playoffs and the Super Bowl, the NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Larry Holder joins us as we put a button on the Saints season and the latest on the Ryan Nielsen LSU reports. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, back here on Hangin with Hanny. He's not even here. Hangin with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richards Honda. We've been talking a lot about Tennessee in today's show, and the odds are out. Vegas put out some odds for the next Tennessee head football coach. Billy Napier leads the chart there, 7-2. Jamie Chadwell, 4-1.
I didn't realize he was from Knoxville.
Bill Clark, 9-2. Hugh
UAB
Freeze,
coach.
19-4. Luke Fickell, Cincinnati coach, 5-1. Doug Marrone just got fired over at Jacksonville, 11-2. Jim Caldwell, 6-1. Kevin Steele, 7-1. Tom Herman, 7-1. Lane Kiffin, the old Lane train, 8-1.
Where's John Gruden?
Gus Malzahn, 10-1, and the sheriff Peyton Manning, 33-1. Although
think
Peyton
that's gonna be it.
will be heavily involved, reports are he'll
Picking
be heavily
the
involved in
coach.
picking the next coach. I don't think that he'll be on the sideline.
I was curious to hear Ryan McGee in the first hour talk about kind of his thoughts on Phil Fulmer. He kind of hinted at it as opposed to expounding on it, but basically saying, I mean, this guy, it's all about making himself look good and not going to pay attention to the details and clean stuff up. And it looks like he didn't.
You can't fire a coach with calls for recruiting violations. And when they ask you, what are you going to remember about his time there, you say, well,
recruiting was good.
Recruiting was, what was the exact quote? I think he said certainly. Like, certainly the recruiting was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good enough that you're firing him with calls. Come on, Phil.
Yeah.
Be better than that. And so it's actually led to a fun discussion here. And our guy Cole Kubelik posed the question on Twitter. You have 10 years to win a national title, or you get airdropped into a den of hippos. I don't want to be in a den of hippos. That doesn't sound fun. Which 1990s national championship school are you going to try and win another? Your choices are Colorado, Georgia Tech, Washington, Florida State, Nebraska, Michigan, or Tennessee. Of those choices, you have to choose one. You got to win a natty, or you're getting dropped into a den of hippos.
Two of those stand out. Really, they're much in front of the rest of them. And then a third is kind of trickling into my brain, but I'm not fired up about it. But the two I feel very good about are Florida State and Washington. And I say that for different reasons. Florida State is in that incredibly fertile recruiting area where you can load that roster in a couple years and have really good players. And then you just got to go beat Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's easier said than done. And Notre Dame actually proved that you just got to beat them once.
You can split. You can split it.
And then you can get in.
That's right.
But if you can just beat them once. So that is my first answer. My second one is Washington, because nobody out there is any good.
Pac-12
So if I get in, which they did.
Washington has been in this situation. They've been close. They're not that far away from who they can be because they dominate where they're at recruiting-wise. There's some talent, not a lot, but there's some talent where they're at. if they get the right set of coaches in there, that's not somewhere where you're that far off. I completely agree with you there. Florida State and Michigan are close.
Michigan was
to
my
me.
third one.
I think you could flip-flop either one of those because Florida State has the juggernaut that is Clemson in front of them. Michigan has the juggernaut of Ohio State in front of them. Now, Michigan is still a brand. Jim Harbaugh has not done great there. In fact, he just took a pay cut, but it's still a brand. And if you got over the hump of Ohio State, you can get there, okay? Still a big ask, but you can get there. They're going to give you every resource. They let him go to Rome and have spring practice, for God's sakes, right? So the resources at Michigan, they're going to give that to you. Where Florida State, I still think that's an issue. Facilities and resources, still a little bit of an issue.
But passion and geography are there.
They're not. You're right. They have them over anybody on this list. Colorado, you had a nice season. You're not even remotely close. You'll never win another national title. Georgia Tech, you're so far away from being relevant right now. And schools all around you, Georgia, Clemson,
Auburn.
Alabama, all the Florida schools. Hell, I'd even throw South Carolina. Taking everybody that you used to get, they're taking that from you.
That's so far, little brother. It's not a university that's boomed by athletics. Really, they've had some reasonable teams here and there, but no, that ain't it.
Tennessee, no. We've talked really 2.5 hours about why you're not even remotely close. Nebraska, no. Nebraska, they capitalized on really good coaching. They had a great offense, a fantastic defense. They had some moxie about them. They had a scholarship situation that they took advantage of, kind of like Vanderbilt baseball. And they
were also on the front end of the strength and conditioning wave.
They were literally they were
big. Yeah, they were bigger and stronger than everybody, and they went and recruited Florida and got one of the greatest players in the history of college football. But that day's over. It's over.
You don't even match up with the conference you're in. You're not in that footprint. You don't belong in that conference, and that's okay. Like that, you don't belong there. That's not your people. Your people are elsewhere, and you went away from those people, and now you're in the Big Ten. It just doesn't make sense. Like nothing about what they're doing makes sense, and it hurts the people that played for him. We had Scott Shanley on yesterday. I mean, he has pride about Nebraska football, and he should. I mean, when he was there, they were still a good program, a good football team. They fit where they were supposed to be. They don't do that anymore. There's no rhyme or reason for them. Look, before you spout it, like I know.
No, Nebraska to me is on a tier level with Pittsburgh and Michigan State and somebody like that. It's just Arkansas maybe. They've got some one or two boxes they can check. Nebraska's got a rabid fan base that sells out the stadium, has some tradition, but you don't have any recent success. You don't have the ability to recruit your home state, and it's just an uphill battle. They're never going to get back to where they once were.
Like if I'm a Nebraska fan, if Scott Frost can't do it, who can do it? If a guy who played here, has a passion about here, took UCF from a winless season to an undefeated season, if that guy can't do it, who can do it?
Exactly. But the problem that they've had, and this is not, everyone knows this, but Tom Osborne retired, and they still thought they should be that program.
Yeah.
So they ran Solich out of town, and they ran Callahan out of town, and they ran Pelini out of town. Now, there were extenuating circumstances to all those things. Pelini got caught on the tape recorder saying things about the chancellor and whatnot and all that kind of stuff. But essentially, Nebraska administration and fan base, there's still a faction of people there that think that they should be at the top of college football mountain, and they're not. They're an 8-win team. And if you think that winning 8 games should throw people out of town, you're going to just it's going to be a revolving door because you're not that.
I don't have confidence that any of those teams will win one in the next 15 years. Florida State, to me, has now started to get passed up by schools that have no business passing up Florida State. Like Florida State, the brand right now means nothing. Florida in their own state's way ahead of them. Miami's ahead of them. Central Florida has done way more than Florida State has done. They've played in bigger games than Florida State has in the last 5 years. I mean, that's just the fact. They have been such a mess, and Jimbo left them a mess. I mean, there's no question about how it happened. I mean, Jimbo left them a mess. they don't have the backing of everyone around the school to be able to build this program. Like, there's places, I mean, LSU's one of them. If there's something that you need, they find a way. They build it. You get it done.
I need a defensive coordinator.
Okay, well, they're trying to do that. It's not for a lack of trying.
We'll get one.
Right?
I'm just trying to be a jerk.
But at least it's not for a lack of trying.
Yeah.
Florida State, you ask for this, that, and the other, you don't get it. Okay, that's what it is. And that's what's kind of held them back. And it's amazing that they did what they did with Bobby Bowden. I mean, finishing in the top 5 for so many years in a row. But they are so far from that. So there's no team on this list that I can be like, oh, yeah, I can see them 15 years winning a national championship. Not one.
And maybe I'm just, how do I want to phrase this? It feels to me, maybe I'm wrong, but it feels to me, and this is a question I've asked some of the guests we've had on and a discussion that we've had, it feels to me like the gaps between the haves and the have-nots is larger than it ever was in my younger life. Now, I was young, but LSU came out of nowhere to win the national championship in 2003.
Yeah.
When is that ever going to happen again? It's Alabama, Clemson, Oklahoma, Ohio State, LSU, maybe Auburn. But, I mean, they had just won one a little bit earlier. It just feels like there's just nobody's got a chance. And we're lucky to live in the place and support the team that's got a chance.
Yeah.
But, man, it just feels like Notre Dame, I just didn't feel like had a chance.
No.
The West Coast, I mean, they've gotten Washington in, and I didn't think they had a chance. And Oregon, I don't feel great about it. Nobody's been able to emerge out of the Big Ten except Michigan State, who came in and got embarrassed. Just doesn't feel like teams are close to breaking through.
No, it feels like the 3 that have been there in a wild card, and LSU was that wild card that was just better than the 3 that have been there in 2019. I mean, that's what it truly feels like, and that's what a lot of the discussion, that's why the ratings have been down, and that's why a lot of people that even wanted to stay at a 14 playoff, I'll raise my hand as high as anyone, looking for a change and looking to change the system, change the model. I don't know what that model is. I don't know what would be the perfect solution, but I think it needs to be looked at. Before we go to break, Hunt orders a box combo and trades all the chicken fingers in for coleslaw.
That would never happen. I love Canes. I love chicken fingers.
Hunt goes to Popeyes and asks for grilled chicken.
Not correct. Love some fried chicken.
Can't read that Huntism. Are we bringing Huntisms back?
Well, look, you're in charge of the show. I can sit here and get made fun of if you want.
Hunt's probably one of those who orders a hamburger without the bun.
No. Give me the bun, some mayo, cheese.
Hunt thinks Jim Harbaugh is a good coach.
He's not done great, but he was pretty good at the NFL level.
Hunt thinks it would be funny to trip Hanny when he comes back.
That would not be funny. I love my man Hanny.
Hunt's mom never cut the crust off his sandwiches.
That's correct. I don't mind the crust. Grace, my sister, she had the crust cut off all the time, but I'm good with the crust.
All right, more of those to come, and we'll finish off the show. We've got a couple segments left. Don't go anywhere. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richards Honda.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject to credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
$14,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford Expedition XLT. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty, and with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Happy New Year from Cordell Toyota in Opelousas. You can get into a Corolla for $239 a month with only $2,000 down, or choose from our pre-owned selection. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Cordell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Join us for a Tuesday edition of Jimmy Ott's Game Time, live from Doe's E-Place. Big game for LSU basketball as the Tigers welcome Alabama into town. We break it all down starting at 6 p.m. Come out and see us or tune in to 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
You know that I got it.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
Hunt still warms up his Uncrustables in his armpits.
Forgot about Uncrustables. I don't know if I've ever had one, but I definitely know what you're talking about.
Hunt goes on an LSU show and wears a golf hat.
Yeah, just about every day.
You got a lot of golf hats.
I do have a lot of golf hats.
I actually got my State of Louisiana LSU hat on, and we gave one away. Probably going to give one away again soon.
Excellent.
Pretty popular.
Good.
The old LSU purple state hat.
I like it.
You had a little bit of baseball news while we were doing.
Yeah, Ross Bjork at A&M, and then he basically come out and said that it looks like they're doing 25 to 30% for baseball this coming year. Extrapolate that back to LSU, and they do 25 to 30%, which is about where you've been for football and basketball. You're looking at 2,800 people in the box. Thought they might do a little bit more than that, being that it's outside, weather's warming up, vaccinations are coming in, but we're not quite there yet. When do you think the first American sport, what month of what year, is 100% capacity?
When's it going to be?
Yeah.
September. Football. Feels like Right?
9 more months.
Is that too?
We've been doing this for 9 months. It
Yeah.
seems like in my head that's reasonable, but there are people that don't think we're going to be done for this for a while.
When you say a while, what are you talking here?
Like another year and a half, 2 years.
There's some athletic departments that can't. They cannot. We've seen sports cut already. They've been hanging on to the hope that when it becomes fall sport time, that you'll get back to full capacity. And I'm not just talking about Centenary College in Shreveport. I'm talking about real Power 5 programs, not your blue bloods, but Power 5 programs that are holding on to, we need that revenue.
Yeah, I believe it.
So let's just call it September.
Todd Cleary says September, no shot.
Oh, God, Todd, you're probably right. But Todd! If not then when?
I don't know.
Then you're talking about spring of 2022? Are you talking about fall of 2022? Are you talking about 50% capacity?
I've now been transformed back in time, back to July, when all we did was think about, what about that? You think that'll happen?
Yeah.
Do you think they could do that? Do you think it was the worst? But I don't know. I'd really like to go to Wrigley this summer, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
Like, that didn't have to be 100% capacity for me to go to Wrigley.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder, like, fall football to me, if it's not at 50%, I would be surprised.
50%? Yeah, I would think that's really
50% would be. And can those schools and those athletic departments that I mentioned, could they move forward with 50%? And when I say Power 5 programs, I mean, you're talking about the bottom of some of the Pac-12. You're talking about the bottom of some of these ACC schools. Of course, you start talking Group of 5, you start talking Maction and Fun Belt.
Yeah.
And they probably right now, I mean, life support doesn't even probably come close. I mean, I don't even know how.
I think
right
your
now
guy at Central Arkansas is going to get a full stadium in no matter what next year.
Oh, Brad Teague doesn't care. Brad Teague played a schedule of whoever would play. They did not care. I mean, they played home and home. They played a home and away with, Eastern Kentucky, I know, and I think Missouri State was the other one. I mean, they didn't care. They found a way to get games in, and they're going to a new conference. They went to the A-Sun, by the way.
No, he said the Superdome will be back to full capacity in 2030.
When you said that, I was like, oh, man, that's low for what I thought they would have. Did you expect 25%? Or do you expect closer to 50%?
I think, yeah. I mean, there's a reason I could get to higher, because it's outdoors and because we're moving towards a vaccine. I mean, my fiance got the second dose of the vaccine today. She's a nurse, so she's part of the first. My dad's a dentist, and he got it. It feels like more people are getting it more quickly than I maybe thought around me. But I thought there was a chance because of those two things. But the fact of the matter is that they're probably just going to stick with it for the whole school year, which is what we started with in football. We're doing it for baseball.
All right, Hunt's put a damper on my afternoon. Hopefully he hasn't done it to you. We'll see if we can get your spirits back lifted in Ask Us, brought to you by Cole Coors Light. When we come back here on Hangin with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richards Honda.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny. Off the Bench, Hangin with Hester and Hanny. After further review and more are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat driven by Bayou Ford.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject to credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans. That's why we're highlighting the fans that do the most. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week. Check it out at 1045ESPN.com, the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week.
Happy New Year from Cordell Toyota in Opelousas. You can get into a new Camry for $335 a month with only $2,000 down, or choose from our pre-owned selection. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Cordell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Coming up on Wednesday's Off the Bench, the inevitable Booger McFarland victory lap is at hand. Plus, a recap of Tigers versus the Tide in the PMAC. And we bring you the latest on the Ryan Nielsen drama. Off the Bench, 104.5 ESPN.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard Honda. Time for Ask Us, brought to you by Cold Coors Light, Blue Moon Light Sky, Vizzy Hard Seltzer as well. I'll be enjoying the LSU-Alabama game with a couple of Cold Coors Lights. Are you going to the game?
I will be at the game. They are not selling alcohol this year at basketball games, so I will not have any alcohol at the game. But I'm excited about it.
You can pregame. It's fine. That's something you can definitely do. All right, let's get into some of this before we get to your questions. Hunt goes to Whiskey and Wine and orders a Shirley Temple.
I hadn't had a Shirley Temple since probably the mid-'90s. I might need to look into that.
Shirley Temple is...
I think it's 7-Up and Grenadine, right?
Cherry juice, yeah, right?
Yeah, it's Grenadine's cherry juice. Yeah.
All right, let's see. A lot of people trying to figure out when we're going to have live sports. Ask us, who does LSU go after for defensive coordinator? I'll be honest, right now, there's not a ton of names floating out there because I think a lot of people thought this was going to get done. I know there were some other names early surfacing around NFL candidates, but right now, some of the candidates that we knew have already been interviewed, and There will probably be a lot of more information come out in the next couple of days, Hunt, but not a lot of names, circling around the program right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one that I saw, Glenn Schumann's name, he's the co-DC over there at Georgia. That name popped up on the internet.
Joe Barry, NFL linebacker coach.
Yeah.
He's been a defensive coordinator at the NFL level, was, I think, late last week, but I haven't heard a lot of Joe Barry talk in the last couple of days. So, yeah, I mean, you thought you had your guy. Saints blocked it, gave him a raise, gave him a promotion, and now you start over.
There's still plenty of guys who can call the defense at LSU.
Ask us, better snack at a game, popcorn or nachos?
Neither one of those does much for me there.
They both do a lot for me.
I'd rather eat a hot dog.
Fantastic. Oh, I'm not going to turn that down either. Nachos, I don't even know what that cheese is, but I don't care. It's fantastic.
I don't have any interest in that.
Oh, sign me up for some nachos.
You want some good nachos that are like baked and they aren't like runny and goop and the chip turns soft? Like, I'll consider it, but I don't need the soup sauce.
That's like the one that has the nacho cheese, and you get your chip and you dip it and then you eat it.
I don't want it.
It's not drenched. I mean, I don't know what ball games you're going to.
I don't give nachos. That's the point. Popcorn's not my favorite thing either.
You hate fun. Ask us, best kind of cake and best kind of pie. Best kind of pie is Strawn's chocolate pie in Shreveport. So good. The best kind of cake is king cake from Southern Made.
Nice. Strawn's strawberry pie.
Both of them. I'm not going to banana too. I'm not going to turn down any of it.
Cake, I'm a big, I really do like red velvet.
Okay.
I can get down with that.
Ask us, do the Tigers get it done tonight?
I don't
Hunt's
think
already
so.
said that he's going for the Tide.
I did not say that.
Yes, you did.
No,
In
I did
so
not.
many words.
I did not. That's simply incorrect.
Nope, that is factual.
I believe Alabama will win the game tonight, but I'm excited about it.
Nope. LSU wins big. Go Tigers.
Big win.
Let's see. Ask us, who wins the Super Bowl? Oh, man. There's a lot of intrigue now. Mahomes with a concussion. Chad Henney's got to come in. The Bills are hot. I tell you what, Aaron Rodgers has a boulder on his shoulder, not a chip. He's got a boulder on his shoulder. And we were out at the football camp that we had this weekend. Thanks for coming out if you did, by the way. It had a great turnout, even though it was freezing cold. Still had a good turnout. Flynn showed up, and we were talking playoffs, and he was adamant. He said, they ain't losing. He's like, they're going to destroy the Rams, which they did.
Yeah.
He said, Aaron's not going to lose. He's so mad that they drafted a quarterback in the first round and didn't give him any help. They ain't losing. And I tell you what, when you watched him play the other night, I might co-sign that.
I'm taking the Bills.
They've got a real opportunity. That team's fun to watch, man. Josh Allen has
Best
made
unis in the league.
That Josh Allen's made. They're up there. They're not the best. Chill out. Chargers and Saints.
Yeah.
They've made a jump. He's made a jump personally.
Yeah.
He's always been talented, but they gave him Stephon Diggs. They went out and got a true number one. That's a real team that plays as a team. That defense plays for each other. They're a lot of fun to watch. I mean, there's some intriguing matchups. The AFC matchup, if Patrick Mahomes is healthy, obviously it goes up a notch, but that's a lot of fun between those two quarterbacks if they can get on the field. And Aaron Rodgers playing like a man possessed. It's going to be hard to beat them in Green Bay when it's in the 20s. He lives for stuff like that.
Let me tell you who won't be there. That's me.
Ask us, what do people idolize but really shouldn't?
Sports.
Yeah. I mean, what we do here every day. Celebrities? Could you say that?
Yeah, clearly. I got some friends who are just obsessed with celebrities. I mean, I just don't get it at all. Did you see what such and such got engaged? Yeah. She's pregnant. I don't care. I don't know these people.
That's fair. Ask us, boiled peanuts or regular peanuts?
Regular peanuts. I do enjoy those at a baseball game, too. That's much better than nachos or...
Peanuts are better than nachos or popcorn?
Absolutely. No question.
No, Hunt. That's a bad take.
No, great take.
I mean, I appreciate some Cracker Jacks at a baseball game just because of the nostalgia of it, but give me some popcorn. Some salty AF popcorn.
Nope. I don't really care about popcorn.
By the way, Hunt's here every single Tuesday and Thursday thanks to Hungry Howie's.
Good point. That's a good point you bring up there. Shout out to Hungry Howie's for letting me come in here and and hang out with Hester and Hanny. They got a couple of new deals that I've been pumping here recently. So any two of these for $5.99 each, so under $12 for any of the two of these. Medium one-topping pizza, Howie wings, some bread, including the stuffed bread. You get jalapeno stuffed bread, bacon stuffed bread, pepperoni stuffed bread, any of those. 4-pack of Pepsi. Any two of those items for just $5.99 each. So store Nicholson, just south of LSU's campus at Lee. HungryHowies.com, Hungry Howie's app. Got to be watching the game tonight. Maybe you're coming to campus for it. Hungry Howie's is right there. Make it part of your game watching or traveling to experience.
Hungry Howie's. I'll take care of you.
Thank you.
Hunt prefers Orange Beach over South Beach.
We'll see. I'm going to South Beach for my honeymoon, so we're going to figure that out. But I love Orange Beach. But I think South Beach is probably going to take the cake there.
You're going to South Beach for your honeymoon?
We are. We had Jamaica booked. That's still not open. We punted. We got to do domestic. And it's March 1st, so we're going to have to go somewhere south. South Beach checks that box.
Hunt prefers Reggie's over Fred's.
No.
Wait, you thought about that way too long.
Well, I didn't go to Fred's really at all in college. I went I've been to Fred's 5 times.
Really?
I didn't go to Reggie's very often. I've been in that building probably a total of 10
Like
times.
I said earlier in this segment, Hunt hates fun.
Bogey's Bar and Grill. I was there all the time.
Bogies is my Bogies.
I went every day. I lived across the street.
I tried to buy Bogies. Me, Peter Burns, and Flynn tried to put a group together. But
I lived
after games on
across the
Fridays,
street.
Fred's was pretty good.
No,
that was my
Bogies,
2 spots. I
always.
mean, Wednesday Bogies. I was there. I was probably there with you. You just didn't know it.
I was there.
But it's okay. Hunt thinks turkey bacon is better than regular bacon. I'll punch you in the face if you say that.
Turkey bacon's not great.
No, it's not.
I've had some run-ins with turkey bacon
I'm
in my
someone
time.
who tries to eat healthy, and turkey bacon's like an option, and I've fought through it.
It's
it just
not
ain't the same as that swine.
No,
it ain't the
it's
same.
not.
Doesn't taste the same. It ain't got the grease like you need in some bacon.
Yeah, I agree.
Like King Curtis said, bacon is good for me.
Mm-hmm. Who are we making fun of on tomorrow's show? We had a lot of Tennessee today.
I mean, that's a gift that keeps on giving. Don't worry. I'm sure something will come about. Looking forward to having Hunt back again. Join us tomorrow, same time, same place. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richards Honda.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota